And we are live.
Okay, great. Hi guys, can you hear us? Is it all okay in terms of sound, video? Hi guys.
Yeah, yeah. Looks everything okay.
Uh, can anyone let us know if the voice is okay? We'll start immediately then.
Hmm.
All good. ठीक है. Anyways, बता देना in case there are any issues with the sound quality. Okay. All right. So yeah, good evening. Welcome everyone. Welcome once again to Olympics on My Mind. And yes, we posted earlier on Twitter that we are getting a facelift. We have come with our uh, caricatures, so to say. But yeah, very happy to see the responses and everyone wishing us good luck and stuff. So yeah, thank you for all of that. And yeah, as far as today's live stream is concerned, we are going to touch upon wrestling first because we are just done with World Championship. In fact, it is still going on and about to end tomorrow or maybe day after. I'm not sure. Tomorrow is the last day, I think.
Yeah, tomorrow is the
Yeah,
last.
yeah. So we are going to touch upon that, and then obviously, like the title itself suggests, we are going to talk about some of the changes that have happened in shooting qualification, its implication, and how India, how things might change for Indian shooting contingent. I know since we are going to start with wrestling, I feel that it's not going to be a very good start, Kapil. I know there is a lot of frustration pent up in everyone, and yeah, I feel that थोड़ा सा अच्छे नोट पे स्टार्ट करते हैं
Hmm.
so that we uh, before we get into the heated zone, let's start on a good note.
Hmm.
uh, कोई recent news सुनी हो which is on top of your mind, anything you
Ah,
want to talk about?
yeah, so the Weber was very slyly indicating, I guess. So we all saw the big news yesterday, guys.
Yes.
Federer retired. Still has that one last tournament
Shit,
left,
I'm
his
getting
World Cup.
goosebumps right now.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely the end of an era, right? 2003, 2004, so he's been at the top, and that is when at least he would have come to the consciousness of most people's mind.
Hmm.
Because so, matlab almost 20 years now. The career is obviously like I think 24 years, which by the
24, yeah.
which
He himself stated that.
by the way happens to match Sachin Tendulkar as well. So just a
Yeah,
coincidence there.
yeah.
And yeah, obviously Federer has been this omnipresence throughout most of our sporting lives. I would imagine even most people in the chat would be quite young, and who would be have watched him throughout their lives. Or even if you're not young, definitely Federer would have made an impact on all of you. And yeah,
Hmm.
personally, I mean, I honestly I haven't watched too much tennis in the last, let's say, 4 5 years. I used to watch a lot more before, but
Earlier.
yeah, earlier. But still, Federer is always Federer, right? And from my perspective, I can always say one regret I will always have is I could not see him live. I
Mm-hmm.
came close at least a couple of times. टोक्यो में टिकट लिया था उसका, टोक्यो नहीं सॉरी, रियो में टिकट लिया था उसका, टोक्यो में भी लिया था बाय द वे, रियो टोक्यो दोनों
बट
में ही।
ठीक है, रियो
हाँ,
टोक्यो में तो पता थोड़ी ना था कि इफ यू स्टिल इवन गेट टू वॉच हिम और नॉट, मतलब
एग्जैक्टली
डिपेंड करता है ना उस पे भी।
हाँ नहीं, बट पॉइंट वही ना, जैसे रियो में मुझे,
चांस था।
हाँ नहीं, रियो में जैसे मुझे याद है कि हम लोग का पूरा डायरेक्शन इसी पे था कि टेक टिकट्स वेर यू गेट टू सी फेडरर. So it's like we had taken tickets for like the third round, where the entire third round was supposed to happen on one day. So it's like the idea was as long as he gets to the third round, we'll see him because we had tickets for all courts. But then, as it turned out, he got injured and he pulled out. He didn't play the only. And I remember I'd seen one tournament in France, the Paris Masters. I don't remember the year, somewhere in 2009 or something I had gone. लेकिन वहाँ पे भी सिचुएशन, एंड फेडरर डिड प्ले देयर, बट वहाँ पे भी सिचुएशन यही थी कि आई हैड लाइक ओनली अ पर्टिकुलर डे वेयर आई कुड गो, एंड दैट हैपेंड टू दे बी द डे व्हेन फेडरर का मैच नहीं था. सो आई हैड वॉच नडाल इन डबल्स देयर, आई रिमेंबर दैट.
हम्म.
नडाल्स को डबल्स में देखा था, फिर नडाल को ही थोड़ा बहुत रियो में भी देखा था थ्रू लाइक अ पीप होल, मेनली नॉट थ्रू द कोर्ट, क्योंकि कोर्ट फुल हो गया था. बट
Yeah.
या, मिसिंग फेडरर विल ऑलवेज बी, मतलब मिसिंग हिम विल ऑलवेज बी रिग्रेट, मिसिंग हिम लाइफ. And in terms of matches, I mean, the one particular moment I remember, uh, it actually came in a loss. But my favorite moment was, in that 2007 था कि 8 था, 2007 or 8,
Which tournament?
the Wimbledon final against Nadal,
Mm-hmm.
when Nadal won his
Mm-hmm.
first Wimbledon. Yeah,
2008.
2008. So yeah, so that was when I was in IIM, and the entire IIM was basically sitting in the mess.
Federer supporting.
Not it was divided. There were Federer supporters, there were
Okay.
Nadal supporters, but the
Yeah,
idea
because
was,
back then it used to be like 80-20 in favor of
yes,
Federer.
India में
India में
especially.
especially,
हाँ,
yes.
but there were both. हम लोग के यहाँ पे मतलब the main point was the entire batch was like sitting at 11 p.m. in the night or 12 p.m. in the night in front of a TV and cheering every shot, and it was like the fifth
Hmm.
set, and you could feel something's happening here. कि it's
Yeah,
a
something historic.
हाँ, something historic is happening. And पूरा बैच साथ में बैठ के देख रहा था, cheer कर रहा था, and it was divided, half for Federer, half for Nadal. Yeah, I was a little disappointed कि Nadal won, but still it was an awesome experience. So
Hmm. Yeah.
definitely goosebumps stuff, and also his off-field demeanor, right? Not just his on-field demeanor. I mean, he's been possibly the one of the best role models in sports anywhere,
Of
along
course,
with
yes.
Nadal himself, of course,
Yes.
and
Like his legend goes beyond tennis, not
exactly.
just on the tennis.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I felt that week. It's not just that the tennis world will never be the same again, but even the entire sports world will never be the same again. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just the impact of Federer. He made an impact everywhere.
Mm. Yeah. For me, I mean, at least I was a little fortunate. I got to see him in IPTL here in Delhi.
Hmm.
So went there for a couple of days. But ठीक है, it was just an exhibition tournament. So I don't consider that as a live watch in itself. मतलब obviously it was a dream to watch him as well live. वो नहीं हो पाया, but I'll make peace with that कि हाँ ठीक है, मैंने 2 दिन IPTL में उसको देख ही लिया.
Hmm.
But yeah, about his tennis, of course, it took me a few years to realize. I think after 2009, it happened that I got to realize what am I missing, just because back then it used to be. I think I was in school then, or maybe early college. It was always arguments. Either you are in Rafa camp or you're in Roger camp, and you always end up arguing against each other. So fortunately मैंने थोड़ा सा जल्दी realize कर लिया that dude, just because of these arguments you're missing out on a lot of I mean, his legend, like I said, goes beyond tennis. So I then started enjoying his tennis more rather than just wishing for Rafa to win every single time he's facing. And then वहाँ से of course the inspiration that he gives you in terms of the way he carries himself, or the way he talks, the way he plays his style of tennis. So I mean, everything about him is amazing, right? And it's perfectly sums up the logo that he has. Like, he's the Mr. Perfect that you could have in the entire sporting world, right?
Yeah, Mr. Perfect is actually a perfect moniker for him. He was sort
Yeah,
of perfect in every way. And of course,
every
we
way.
we also have to mention, the presence of Nadal and Djokovic also elevated
Hmm.
the entire scene to a next level, right? Because
Yes,
it's
yes.
not like that he was just dominating, maybe like a Serena did from time to time,
Hmm.
where
Hmm.
she was just head and shoulders above the rest. This we just got to watch an epic rivalry, and
Yeah,
it was one of those rare moments where you know that you are in the golden era of tennis, and you can feel it at that point as well.
yeah.
Otherwise, a lot of the times it's like later you realize ki, okay, oh, that was the golden era. This
Yeah,
was
a lot
not
of
that.
a lot of people actually did realize it later on. But I
Hmm.
think in my case, it was Rafa actually who sort of made me realize early on, because he himself was always so much of respect he has towards Federer.
Hmm.
They shared such a good camaraderie on the
Hmm.
tour. So वहाँ से you yourself turn into a fan.
Hmm.
So it was amazing, and you could see the writing was on the wall. You could see
Yeah.
it was coming. कभी भी हो सकता था, तो
Hmm.
एटलीस्ट ठीक है, अभी तो सिर्फ इट्स जस्ट बिकम ऑफिशियल, राइट नाउ ही इज
Hmm.
रिटायर्ड. बट वो धीरे धीरे ट्रांसेंड हो ही गया अपनी रिटायरमेंट में.
Hmm.
बट या,
But yeah.
eventually everyone, Serena first, Federer, then soon it'll be Rafa,
Hmm.
Djokovic. The
Uh,
era seems to be ending.
yeah. And guys, by the way, if you also have some Federer memories, you can put in the chat. We might read
Yeah.
out a couple. And yeah, so but great memories, great joy, and
Mm.
yeah, there probably will not never be another rivalry like this. Maybe even another player to match these three is difficult, but maybe you might get one, another one in some time. But
Mm.
ऐसी rivalry होनी तो I think मुश्किल है. Three of the best players ever all playing at the same time for such a long time.
Yeah,
It is
it's very
unprecedented.
difficult. Once in a while.
Mm.
Uh, and also you would have seen the tributes that were coming on
Yeah.
Twitter, right, from everywhere, not just the
Mm.
tennis world.
Mm.
It
It was not
was amazing.
surprising at all, right?
Yeah.
He has basically been the most loved, uh, singularly the most loved sportsman for at least what 15 years now. I think so. At least
Hmm.
maybe 20 also. You might even say
Yeah,
20.
yeah, yeah. Even when he had literally stopped playing tennis for last 3 years,
Mm.
he was always a part of,
Mm.
players, interviews, the
Mm.
chatter around Twitter. He never, as if he never left the tennis
Mm.
tour.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay, guys.
good.
So let's come into the bad part then. Uh,
Yeah,
the good memories, and now we come to some bad memories, which has been the
yeah,
last week, which has basically been a disaster at
yeah. I've been
the.
seeing your tweets
Hmm.
that it's been a disaster, but has it reached that stage where you can call it unmitigated disaster yet?
I mean, I
Like
guess.
you, like you called for shooting sometime back.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only mitigation part was at least चलो एक medal तो है विनेश का. I guess that's the one small mitigating factor there. And I don't know, maybe Bajrang is playing in the repechage tomorrow or not. I forgot to check
Yeah,
that.
yeah, he is.
अच्छा कल repechage में
Yani reached the
reach
final.
the final. Okay, so
Mm.
at least chalo, I guess you have like a one medal and maybe one another possibility tomorrow. So, but yeah, it's basically been a disaster, right? Right across the board. I mean, right starting from Greco. मतलब Greco has got a point के you are surprised when they win even one match. So I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, we were never strong in Greco, लेकिन it has really got to a point कि एक match भी जीत गया तो भैया बहुत बड़ी बात
mm.
हो गई. We have basically ditched that discipline.
Yeah. But I think honestly, I don't mind that because you'll see there is hardly any country which is strong in all three disciplines. So I would rather have us focusing. I'm not saying कि पूरा ध्यान ही मत दो बिल्कुल भी,
Hmm.
but I'd rather have them focusing on women's wrestling and freestyle.
हाँ
ठीक है, rather than just distributing your resources कि वहां पे भी तुम ना नहीं ध्यान दे पा रहे एंड ग्रेको में भी नहीं ध्यान दे पा रहे.
वो
यूजुअली कंट्रीज का देखोगे ना,
Hmm.
can you name any country which is strong in all three disciplines?
Well,
I
Russia
don't
is
think there is
definitely
any.
there. Russia is definitely there.
Russia women's wrestling, it's not that elite, right?
Enough है. मतलब ठीक है.
It's okay.
मतलब Russia cannot match up to Japan in women's wrestling, but
Hmm.
उसके अलावा I think they are pretty good. मतलब if you
Yeah,
remove
for
Japan, uh, जापान के बाद second country इसमें गिनो तो किसका नाम आता है? You get China, you get
hmm.
who else is there? Then you come to Russia, right? After Japan and China, maybe
Yeah, yeah,
Mongolia. Mongolia आजकल has become very strong,
yeah.
and then India
Specifically
come.
for this world championship, they came up good.
Yeah, Mongolia has become very strong, and then maybe at the end, may like third, fourth, पे you come to India or
Hmm.
but yeah, Russia is I think
See,
after. It's just that
ग्रेको के लिए
Japan dominates a lot in
ग्रेको
women's.
के लिए ये भी है ना, इट्स अ कल्चरल थिंग, सो इट्स नॉट इजी टू चेंज योर एंटायर कल्चर. अ रेसलर ग्रोइंग अप टुडे इन इंडिया वांट्स टू बी अ फ्री स्टाइल रेसलर, तो वो कल्चर पूरा ओवरऑल करना थोड़ा मुश्किल है.
Hmm.
मतलब आई फील मोमेंटम ठीक है चलता रहे, ऑब्वियसली इट हैज टू गो ऑन, बट आई ऑनेस्टली डोंट माइंड इफ वी कंटिन्यू फोकसिंग ऑन फ्री स्टाइल एंड वुमेन्स रेसलिंग.
Yeah, मेरा point always ये था कि culture is fine, but I always feel that eventually India में the biggest culture is the Olympic medal. मतलब अगर किसी को अगर ग्रेको में ओलंपिक मेडल मिल रहा है तो ही इज नॉट गोना से कि नहीं
नहीं
मुझे
नहीं,
ग्रेको का
सो
नीचे मुझे फ्री
बिगर
स्टाइल में.
द बिगर कल्चर इज दंगल, नो
दंगल, हाँ,
कपिल. इट
दंगल
इज
रेसलिंग
स्टिल
आई अग्री. या
and it is much more larger than Olympics. Still,
या
Olympics में once you reach elite level, that
Hmm.
is when Olympics become a culture for you.
Yeah. So that I agree. Dangal culture is probably the biggest reason okay, Greco is not coming up, along with role models. So one thing is always a role model thing where
Yeah,
you see a Sushil Kumar, you see a Yogeshwar Dutt, you see a Ravi Kumar, a Bajrang Punia. So a young wrestler also feels that even I can do that, but you don't have that culture in Greco or the role model in Greco. Otherwise,
mm,
the I have always felt the ideal scenario for Greco would be if there are some trained and knowledgeable coaches who could pick
coaches.
youngsters young based on their skills, not कि भैया हमको ग्रेको में improve करना है इसलिए But if just based on the natural skills of a wrestler, you feel that this particular guy is more suited to Greco, then
But where do you
maybe
get those coaches?
that
Where
is
do
a
you get those
problem. Yeah,
coaches?
that is a
So
problem.
you,
But
in especially
hmm,
Greco, you can only have foreign coaches, right?
yeah,
And now after Tokyo, it was a clear, not mandate, but it was a clear message from the federation that okay, we are done with the foreign coaches. And that is pretty much visible also, right?
अच्छा फॉरेन
There are
कोचेस का भी
absolutely
मैंडेट
no
था.
foreign coaches right now.
ओके. बजरंग का नहीं, बजरंग का नहीं, किसका कोच था एक को
Bajrang का भी तो चला गया ना.
अच्छा बजरंग का
The
भी.
Georgian guy,
द बेंटाई
the
शाको.
Shako, yes.
आई थिंक
Ravi
रवि
used
आल्सो
to
हैड
train
ना.
under some Iranian wrestler or some Russian coach.
ही इज आल्सो गॉन.
After Tokyo, I remember reading in one of the article, it was a clear message from the federation president that we are done with the foreign coaches. Vinesh, and Vinesh was also one of the reason which led to this message, because uska bhi ye tha na that I think there were some allegations that the foreign Hungarian, I think the coach was for Vinesh,
हाँ,
she
उसकी
kept
वाइफ के
on
साथ
training with her
ट्रेनिंग विद द
wife and
वाइफ.
stuff.
हाँ राइट, दैट आई रिमेम्बर.
So Abhi, right now, I don't think we have. I may be wrong, but at least what looks like on TV, we don't have any more foreign coaches. तो अगर वो वैसा मैसेज चल रहा है that you have to do with your domestic coaches, तो कैसे होगा वो?
नहीं, तब तो नहीं होगा. पर ठीक है, ये तो मतलब even after Tokyo, if you say that's relatively recent, right? Even in
Yeah,
past, matlab Greco, because I had heard from on Twitter from people like I don't remember the names. Maybe it might be Vinay, maybe it might be somebody, but a little people who are little more inside wrestling than us. कि Greco में थोड़ा बहुत push आया है, where
hmm.
there are people who are trying to pick up youngsters who might be suited to Greco, rather than right now Greco is more like कि we could not make it in freestyle, तो भैया Greco try कर लेते हैं. Which in that way you will never ever get good, because it's like you failed freestyle and maybe you're not that good a wrestler, so late you make the transition to Greco. उसमें अगर कोई निकल के आ गया, that is gonna be a very lucky situation. It's not
Hmm.
gonna work that way. The way it works is, it's like you determine कि okay, this guy has skills wise he is more suited to Greco than freestyle, and that's why you're moving to Greco the earlier. बट हाँ
Yeah.
ठीक है, वो हो नहीं रहा है. एंड इफ यू आर सेइंग कि मतलब फॉरेन कोचेस का भी प्रॉब्लम है, तो इट्स
Yeah.
नॉट हैपनिंग.
Also, the reason I brought this point was because I was thinking this today only, that is that one of the factor, the way that our entire contingent performed this world championship, that could be one of those factors, right?
या इट्स गेटिंग टू
I
दैट
mean,
पॉइंट. हाँ, इट्स गेटिंग टू द पॉइंट वेयर राइट वो द WFI president is starting to now have an impact. The we have all seen he runs it basically like a personal fiefdom.
I okay, I don't know that. I don't want to comment on that, but why I had this thought after watching Ravi's bout and watching Bajrang's bout. So specifically for Bajrang today itself, it is well documented. Shako used to speak about it so many times. Bajrang himself admitted to it that his weakness is that his defense is a little weak, and he I mean the opponent catches his leg very easily. ठीक है, he kept on saying he's working on that, and I think some improvements were there before Tokyo and during that Tokyo cycle, but आज तो it was just disastrous. I felt the way he fought against Yanni.
हाँ.
I mean, it was very easy, very very easy.
Yeah. I mean, Bajrang ka to, honestly speaking, Bajrang ka liye, I feel the writing also has been a little bit in the wall for a while, right? He's definitely nowhere near what he was in, let's say, 2018 or 2019. And
Yeah,
even Tokyo में जो matches he had won them very close. And मतलब वो जो पहले जो एक feeling आती थी ना कि first period में कुछ भी हो जाए, second period में तो Bajrang can handle it. That is no longer the case. And in
yeah.
Yanni's case, there is no doubt. Yanni is an
But
upcoming
he
guy.
he wants to reach till that second period with lesser points conceded. For that, he needs to be defensively strong. First of all,
Yeah.
if he'll keep on conceding points right from the get go, so वो नौबत ही नहीं आएगी ना. His gas tank, वो जो जिस चीज के लिए वो फेमस है, वो यूटिलाइज करने का वो ही नहीं होगा.
बट अभी तो गैस टैंक भी कहाँ बची है. आई मीन अगर आज का अगर मैच देखो यानी के सामने, आई थिंक ब्रेक पे इट वाज व्हाट लाइक 3-0, आई थिंक सो, समथिंग लाइक दैट. सारे पॉइंट तो बाद में ही गए हैं, ऐसा नहीं है कि शुरू में गए हैं.
आई थिंक 4-0 हो गया था.
हाँ 4-0, सॉरी.
उसमें भी
हाँ
उसमें भी डू यू रिमेम्बर द 4-0 वाज एंटायरली फ्रॉम स्टेप आउट.
नहीं
each and every of those 4 points were from step out, I think.
नहीं 4 स्टेप आउट थोड़ी थे, आई थिंक 2 टेक डाउन
चार
ही थे।
चार तो इजीली थे,
पहला वाला
मतलब या
स्टेप आउट
तो
था, आई थिंक पहला वाला इट वाज
पहला
लाइक,
था, दूसरा भी डेफिनेटली
नहीं
इट वाज अ स्टेप
नहीं,
आउट.
आई एम नॉट टू श्योर बट आई थिंक पहले 2 पॉइंट में ना, इवन आई वाज कंफ्यूज कि आइदर इट वाज अ स्टेप आउट एंड मे बी अ पैसिविटी पॉइंट, और इट वाज लाइक अ स्टेप आउट व्हिच वाज
नहीं
गिवन
नहीं,
2 पॉइंट्स।
पैसिविटी तो 30 सेकेंड क्लॉक रन होगी तो पता चल ही जाएगा ना, इफ इट
हाँ
वाज अ
बट,
पैसिविटी
हाँ
और
बट
नॉट.
मैं वही बोला, आई डोंट नो बिकॉज आई वाज सरप्राइज वो पहले 2 क्यों आया, बिकॉज आई आल्सो रिमेंबर द इनिशियली गेव 1-1 एंड देन इट बिकेम 2-0, सो आई एम नॉट
हाँ,
टू
वो
श्योर।
गलती से 1-1 आ गया था.
हाँ
एंड देन यानी हिमसेल्फ पॉइंटेड आउट कि वो गलती से बजरंग को स्कोर चला गया है.
मे
इट
बी
वाज अ
तो
स्टेप आउट ओनली.
हाँ सो
सो
दो
देन ही
स्टेप आउट
पॉइंटेड
होंगे।
आउट, इट वाज लेटर चेंज टू 2-0.
हम्म,
एनीवेज, मतलब पॉइंट
हम्म,
बीइंग, इट वाज defensively he was evidently visible. It was
हाँ
visible that he's very weak.
हम्म,
Or I also noticed one thing, it was just 5 second yani, attacked his leg within the 5 second of the bout.
हम्म,
So it was pretty clear his strategy
हाँ
was to attack his leg. तो मतलब वही है ना,
हम्म,
it goes on to show that you're not able to improve
yeah.
one, that is what is your one particular weakness.
The only thing I will say here कि I mean Yanni also is very good. मतलब he
Yes,
himself
of
was,
course he is.
हाँ मतलब
Yes.
he himself was, he holds a win over Bajrang as well. And Yanni's problem always was that he was not able to beat the other US guys and get into the team for the big tournaments. But
Hmm.
and stylistically, we also I think it may be Yanni is not the best match for Bajrang. Bajrang चलो at
Yeah,
least he,
even like
हाँ
he's improved slightly over the last 2 years also.
हाँ he's also मतलब grown up sort of. Yanni has also come into his own. So
Hmm.
वो ठीक है, बजरंग के केस में थोड़ा कल भी पता चलेगा कि was it just Yanni or is he struggling, but in general he has been struggling, and 10
Yeah,
nil
and
is
I
10 nil
think
यार, 10
he
nil
goes
we
against a
lose.
good wrestler again, Armenian guy.
हाँ
He is
तेवानियन।
also, yes, he's also a good wrestler. So
हम्म
yes, like you said, वो पता चल जाएगा what level is he playing right now.
हम्म वो ठीक है, but I think even more than Yani, for me the biggest surprise definitely was Ravi. I mean again Abdullayev
Hmm.
is a very good wrestler, but still 10 nil against Abdullayev, I mean it's too much यार, कुछ हुआ ही नहीं. It's like
Yeah,
Abdullayev just kept attacking and kept
he didn't
attacking
let
and kept
Ravi settle in the
हाँ
bout.
मतलब he didn't give Ravi a moment to breathe. He just
Hmm.
kept attacking and Ravi couldn't do anything. मतलब even till the
Hmm.
end I was hoping के यार start something, मतलब maybe 2-3 पॉइंट आ जाएंगे, you start something, maybe the even at 9 nil I was thinking maybe the match can change, बट
Hmm.
जस्ट कभी मौका आया ही नहीं.
इसीलिए ना, you kept on thinking 9-0 पे भी it can change, because that's how Ravi also
दैट्स हाउ गुड ही
fights.
इज.
He's
हाँ
always on front foot.
हम्म
ठीक है. और कितनी बार तो देखा है, he has that knack of coming back, because
हम्म
हमेशा थोड़ा aggressive stance पे रहता है. और
हम्म
like Bajrang also, and for that matter other Indian wrestlers,
हम्म
उसका भी गैस कभी खत्म होती नहीं है. He can
हम्म
pace that, मतलब entire bout he can go with the same pace till the last 6 minutes,
हम्म
6 minutes. तो वो चीज है.
एंड रवि का तो फिर मतलब इफ यू जस्ट लुक एट द रिजल्ट्स इट लुक्स इवन वर्स राइट के यू लूज 10 nil टू अब्दुल्लाएव एंड अब्दुल्लाएव हैज गॉन एंड लॉस्ट 2 मैचेस आफ्टर दैट, नॉट इवन वन. और उसमें से
हम्म.
एक तो ही लॉस्ट लाइक 13-2 टू अकबरोव, एंड देन
हम्म.
रेपेचाज में भी ऑल्सो टुडे ही लॉस्ट है, सो ही लॉस्ट लाइक 4-3
Yeah,
or
yeah, he
समथिंग.
lost. Yeah.
So I mean when you put all that together you feel like मतलब where have we gone. रवि का तो we didn't expect, बजरंग का चलो
He
ठीक है.
himself didn't.
हाँ
Ravi himself didn't. Did you notice वो उसने पंच किया वहां मैट पे जैसे ही खत्म
हाँ
हुआ वो
वो
टेक.
बजरंग ने भी
Of
किया
course
वो
he.
तो, बजरंग ने भी हाथ मारा.
मतलब it was pretty evident रवि के केस में that
हम्म,
he is super frustrated and he
हम्म,
himself wasn't expecting. But I don't know, रवि भी मेरे को थोड़ा सा तो ऑफ लगा था, like even before starting of the bout.
हम्म.
अपने पहला सेकंड बाउट था ना इसका.
सेकंड बाउट, हाँ फर्स्ट बाउट ही
हाँ
वाज
तो
ओके, मतलब ठीक है, ही वाजंट डोमिनेंट as much
या
as we have seen.
I don't know, maybe retrospectively it has got me thinking after his loss कि वो पहले में भी लग रहा था.
हम्म,
But actually I felt it that time also कि something is wrong. I don't know
हम्म,
what.
पता नहीं, but yeah it was very disappointing and people also,
Yeah.
by the way, did they go through trials? I don't know if the two of them went through trials.
Yeah, we spoke last time, no? Ravi, Bajrang, and Deepak, all three of them were
Yeah,
exempted. So
okay.
they were allowed to go and train, have exposure. I
हम्म
think Bajrang went to the US,
हम्म
Ravi went to Russia, जहाँ पे
हम्म
वो टोक्यो से पहले भी ट्रेन करने
हम्म
गया था.
हम्म.
So वहीं गया था.
हाँ, so you can't
But
even,
with Indian coaches,
yeah, but you can't
is
then
what I
even,
know.
हाँ, but you can't then even say that situation, right? कि CWG एक ही
Hmm.
महीना पहले हुआ है, because trials नहीं तो 1 month is enough यार, और कितना
Hmm.
चाहिए.
Yeah. ठीक है, ट्रायल्स का उस दिन इसीलिए मैं बोल रहा था. सो इवन इफ एशियन चैंपियनशिप इज इन मार्च, सो बेस्ड ऑन हाउ थिंग्स हैपेंड, अब इनको भी एग्जेम्प्ट करने का देयर वाज नो स्पेसिफिक लॉजिक बिहाइंड इट, राइट? कि इक्वल अचीवमेंट्स हैं. आप विनेश को तो बोल रहे हो कि दैट यू नीड टू अपीयर फॉर ट्रायल्स एंड यू आर एग्जेम्प्टिंग दीज थ्री, तो पता नहीं चलता. अब तो खैर चलो, मेडल आया ही नहीं तो एग्जेम्प्ट नहीं होगा, वो तो इट्स प्रीटी क्लियर.
Well,
बट या देयर शुड बी
exemption
ट्रायल्स.
में मतलब exemption में I always feel I don't know whether it matters or not, but exemption के case में I always feel it also should matter based on how good or how bad the second guy is. So मतलब जैसे रवि एंड बजरंग के केस में at least you get the feeling that nobody is really close in India. विनेश के केस में
अरे
until
बट
had come close.
you
So
you don't know unless you
yeah,
fight
yeah,
it out, right?
you
it's
don't know
it's
for
sport
sure.
at the end of the day, and if other people are not getting so much of international exposure, they have the domestic platform only to show themselves.
Yeah,
तो
but
वो exemption होना ही नहीं चाहिए ना. Do you see Japanese or the Americans exempting anyone? They never do. even
हाँ नहीं
even David Taylor has to undergo all the trials.
नहीं सो आई कंप्लीटली अग्री कि इन जनरल एग्जामेशन होना ही नहीं चाहिए ओके बट एट द सेम टाइम आई डू गेट अ थिंग वेयर यू हैव अ करंट सिचुएशन के यू हैव अ सी डब्ल्यू जी के ट्रायल्स हुए ही हैं देन सी डब्ल्यू जी ट्रायल्स के बाद यू हैव अ वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप विच इज लाइक ओनली अ मंथ लेटर सो नाउ there is a question whether you want a second trial in between or do you consider a CWG trial as a trial for both CWG and World Championships. So
Yeah.
that is always a questionable mark. And then when it becomes a situation where okay, chalo CWG trials and at CWG पे these wrestlers were much ahead of the competition, तो इनको हम exempt कर देते हैं. But जैसे विनेश अंटिम का मैच था which went to criteria or in the CWG trials. So in that case, you say कि okay, these guys need to compete again in the trials because
So
they were very
why
close.
na?
So I
So
think
that
there
is
is a
when we
logic there.
noticed Antim, right? That is when we noticed कि
हाँ
हाँ. So वही है ना, वो opportunity मिलनी चाहिए. And I think comments में कोई बोल रहा है कि Sujit is there. He's been,
हाँ
highly rated. He's coming up the
हम्म,
curve and stuff like that. I don't know how many times he has fought Bajrang.
हम्म.
So
In
जब
fact,
तक वो होगा नहीं ट्रायल तो नहीं पता चलेगा.
Prakash in fact is even saying that Sujit beat US guy 2 months back. I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah, I read about it on Twitter. I am also not sure. Maybe I'll double check on it. But yeah, I did read it on Twitter.
ठीक है देखते हैं बट ओके या आई मीन ठीक है ओवरऑल इवन इफ यू लुक एट द अदर फ्री स्टाइल गाइज Naveen also Naveen एक तो first of all I don't know whether he by choice went to 70 or did he lose to Sagar in 74.
Yeah. He lost in 74,
So
and
then
I think that is how he ended up in 70.
hmm,
Sagar ka selection was also a surprise, right?
वो तो ठीक है मतलब you win the trial you should be selected that's fine. Sagar by the way also apparently lost in the bronze somebody had confirmed in the chat he also lost in the bronze and Naveen
Hmm.
also मतलब यार nobody was impressive right Deepak got injured वो भी unfortunate thing
Hmm.
there was
But I think one thing I want to clarify here, there has been a lot of talks about X beating Y beating Z. So मतलब naturally X has to beat Z. इतना ज्यादा हो रहा है अंतिम के केस में, स्पेशली फॉर विनेश. When Vinesh lost to the Mongolian,
hmm,
there was all the talks around Antim had beaten her.
hmm,
Does not work in sport that
hmm.
ways, right?
And
मतलब Akane is comfortable against Taizu, she
hmm,
is beating Taizu,
hmm,
and then Taizu is beating PV Sindhu. So
hmm.
that means PV Sindhu should be losing to Akane every single time, right? Doesn't happen.
I mean उसमें यार सीधा सा लॉजिक है I mean eventually विनेश बीट अंतिम राइट वहाँ पे बात खत्म हो जाती है
Yeah, but there it's all about a matchup also. It's not
हाँ
like on paper कि हाँ X ने Y को beat किया तो वो हो जाएगा फिर.
and by the way do you know अंतिम never beat Mongolian
Okay.
वो it was a walkover
Okay, nice.
though apparently there was a thing that she actually beat the American who won the gold
Yeah.
तो
Yeah,
ये
I saw the bout actually,
हम्म
and she was very actually
हम्म
she was very comfortable against the American, who eventually ended up as
with
the
the
world
gold
champion.
हाँ but yeah she actually never beat the Mongolian
Oh,
Mongolian had given
yeah,
a walkover
good stuff.
but
Yeah.
ठीक है जो talking
Yeah,
about
what
that
about
Vinesh
Vinesh?
yeah very difficult to talk, right? मतलब पहले दिन we felt के I mean what happened here? She really did not look good. Then she obviously came back and got the bronze, and she had two good matches. And then of course we saw loads of reasons coming out, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I don't know how to respond to that. It's like on one hand, okay, your reasons were genuine, but on the second hand, I mean, these things should not be happening at a world championship.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
figure out that they don't happen at a world championship.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I
and
think
I,
I agree with you, Kapil.
hmm,
Matlab, especially for the weight cut management thing,
hmm,
I think it's not. ठीक है, it might be a genuine reason for her, but it is not something new in her case.
hmm,
You would remember Rio se pehle
hmm.
she could
Didn't
not
compete.
enter a tournament
Hmm.
because of the bad weight cut, and she couldn't come down to the 50 kg. I think it was
हाँ,
back
that
then.
at that point it was 50 भी या 48 भी होगा था, I'm not sure, but
48 था या जो भी था,
हाँ, but
but
वही
उसके
48 या
केस
50 था, हाँ.
हाँ उसके केस में when she was fighting in 48, तब से ही ये चीज हम सुनते आ रहे हैं that it
Hmm.
becomes difficult for her to
Cut
cut
weight,
the
हाँ,
weight.
हाँ.
So वो चीज नहीं है कि पहली बार आ गई है. It's a bit of uncertainty that you don't know how to react to it.
Hmm.
So वो I think पहले से ही manage थोड़ी सी better होनी चाहिए from coaches, from
Hmm.
physios, health science team, everyone.
Hmm.
मतलब वो एक चीज मेरे को लगा, but I think I'd like to say in Vinesh's case, I mean, we should not be forgetting that she is coming back from injury, surgery, and even more importantly, very evidently from a confidence crisis, right?
I think the confidence
मतलब हम
crisis is much bigger. Surgery injury
it
तो हो गया
it
काफी
might
time, हाँ.
be
हाँ.
for all we know, but it is there, right? And it
Hmm.
is evident. तो मतलब हम यहाँ बैठ के easily we can't
Hmm.
concede कि हाँ चल ठीक है, Vinesh is entering a couple of the elite wrestlers which are usually favorite for medals.
Hmm.
They haven't entered, तो चलो भाई gold पक्का.
Hmm.
This is not how things work. Everyone has come to win gold there. We don't know. We are talking about Mongolia. We don't know how she has prepared in last 3 months. तो ऐसा तो है नहीं है ना. She also ended up reaching final.
Hmm.
These things keep on happening in sport, and we need to take that into context. As simple as that.
Yeah, but ठीक है, I
I know
understand
it
that,
is
हाँ.
disappointing. It is
Hmm.
disappointing,
Yeah.
but that is a harsh reality as well. And look, Vinesh के case में we need to. ठीक है, expectations are so high always,
Hmm.
but I think we need to somewhat conclude that she has never been the world best,
Hmm.
right?
Correct.
She's been a elite wrestler,
Hmm.
but she hasn't been the world best, and medals show for her.
Hmm.
After participating in 10 world championship, 2 Olympics, she just has 2 world medals to show, right?
10 वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप नहीं होंगे, थोड़े ज्यादा हो गए.
आई डोंट नो, वही बोल रही थी 10 साल से 10 वर्ल्ड
हाँ.
चैंपियनशिप में मैं जा
नहीं,
चुकी हूँ.
नहीं, नहीं, I think she said she's been
10 साल
competing
से.
for 10
ओके,
years.
या व्हाटएवर, ठीक है, माय
हाँ,
बैड.
क्योंकि
सो शी इज
इंजरीज
बीन
विंजरी, हाँ.
कंपीटिंग फॉर.
बट आई
ठीक है,
थिंक
7-8 वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप तो होंगी. आई थिंक
नहीं है, आई थिंक.
2013 से शी इज बीन एक्टिव.
हाँ, बट आई थिंक ज्यादा 5-6 ही है, बिकॉज शी ऑल्सो गॉट इंजर्ड क्वाइट अ फ्यू टाइम्स इन बिटवीन. रियलिस्टिकली
हम्म.
आई थिंक 5-6 है, बट या ठीक है.
ठीक है,
एंड
बट
विनेश,
you got my point, right?
या.
Like not getting into the actual specific facts around it.
नहीं, नहीं, आई गेट
So
इट. द ओनली पॉइंट आई ऑल्सो मेक इज विनेश के केस में एक थोड़ा ये भी हो जाता है कि शी डजंट गेट द बेनिफिट ऑफ द डाउट एनी मोर बिकॉज ऑफ व्हाट हैपेंड एट टोक्यो. I mean, Tokyo mein, because Tokyo was really the big disappointment, right? We all thought it was like a sure shot medal, and she was, except for Mukaida, she was basically undefeated going into Tokyo, and then suddenly this entire thing came out. Ke first of all, so she lost to Belarus, and she lost in a pretty bad way,
yeah,
and then all these things come out. That she's been struggling from a 2-year-old concussion and vomiting and
concussion,
everything,
yeah,
and yeah,
everything, blurry vision and stuff.
and yeah, the Indian tendencies, when you have no idea about all this and it happens at the biggest stage, which is
Yeah,
Olympics, वो हम लोग की history ऐसी है, we don't buy it. We always
yeah.
think it's an excuse. So
Yeah. And thoda sa, when it happens so frequently, like when you were talking about Vinesh,
hmm,
same thing happened with the shit. I can't read. Like I'm just having a
hmm,
totally blank moment right now. The
hmm.
boxer in 75 kg,
Vikas.
Vikas.
Hmm,
Yes, same thing happened with Vikas, right? Till the Olympics, till his bout, we
hmm,
had absolutely no idea. And
he's
after the
injured.
bout, there are X-rays coming in.
Hmm,
He got injured, he had a fractured shoulder and stuff.
हम्म,
तो वो चीज थोड़ा सा है. I
हाँ बट
agree to that.
मेनली डिफरेंस वहाँ पे वही है अबाउट एक्सपेक्टेशन, राइट? विकास से इतने स्काई हाई एक्सपेक्टेशन नहीं थे जितने विनेश से थे, तो
Mm.
वो वाली भी बात आ जाती है. बाय द वे, वी
Yeah.
शुड आल्सो टॉक, समबडी हैड मेंशन कि देयर वाज आल्सो पीरियड क्रैम्प्स इन द वर्ल्ड
Yeah.
चैंपियनशिप.
Menstrual cramps were
हाँ,
there. Yes. Yes.
yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously we don't know how to control that, but honestly I always used to think ke matlab pretty much all women at least take these period stopping tablets. Vinesh said that
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
took
She
it for
she
the first
mentioned in
time.
the article.
Yeah,
Yes.
but she
She took
said
it for
कि she
the.
took first time. मतलब मेरा तो assumption हमेशा होता था कि ये लोग लेते ही रहते हैं, but I don't know.
Look, that's what I'm saying. These are, let's say, micro level things, but at a
हाँ, they are
macro
not.
level, if you'll see, she is on a recovery path, and we need to keep that into
Hmm.
context. It's not easy
Hmm.
every time for an athlete to, just recover from a surgery and reach at the top level. It takes time and it's a step by step process.
Yeah, but at the same time, you also have to say, yeah, it was a big missed opportunity. Huh? You don't know if you'll get an opportunity like this again. Uh,
Yes, it is. You
I
you
I think
end
दोनों
up disappointed.
आई थिंक दोनों के ही केस में, विनेश के केस में and even रवि के केस में, बिकॉज उगोया वाज नॉट हियर and you don't know how long Russia will stay out and all that stuff. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
the golden
yeah,
opportunity is missed.
yeah. Otherwise, who else? Anyone else caught your eye?
I mean, if there is somebody who caught your eye, just Nisha, right? She at least
Yeah,
got to
she
the
looked
semi.
good.
But then
Mm.
again, it ended in a way, the worst way possible, where
Yeah, just an accident, right?
नहीं
Unfortunate accident.
नहीं नहीं, but my point is, मतलब how bad is the injury? Because to me it looked really really bad. So
Mm.
मतलब मुझे
Yeah, the
initially
way
तो
she was screaming on the
हाँ,
mat.
and if you didn't notice, she was actually tapping out, I think, for a good 4-5 seconds until the
Mm-hmm.
referee or the opponent realized.
Yeah, yeah.
So मतलब
They
चार
they realized, but they were very slow in their processes कि मतलब धीरे धीरे मैट पे आ रहे हैं
नहीं
और
नहीं
वो
नहीं नहीं,
रेफरी ने तो नोटिस ही नहीं किया था.
हाँ मैं वही बोला, मतलब द पॉइंट इज के नी टूट चुका है, बट उसके बावजूद द अपोनेंट हैज पुट प्रेशर ऑन दैट फॉर लाइक अ गुड 5 seconds. सो
Mm.
मतलब टूटी हुई नी पे प्रेशर फॉर द 5 seconds, आई डोंट नो हाउ मच डैमेज कैन दैट डू इट.
Mm.
सो द
Yeah,
गुड पार्ट वाज एटलीस्ट शी वर्कड आउट ऑन हर ओन.
yeah, yeah.
बट
I think
हाँ,
apart from her, even Naveen continued to look good.
but eventually the,
So
I think, final bronze match was disappointing. Yeah, I was not
yeah, yeah,
too
it
happy.
was. But
Hmm.
you are in a world championship bronze. You can't discount that totally. It's his first senior year. I don't know. He's just
Maybe
19, right? First senior year, first world championship. You're reaching a bronze medal match. So yeah.
बट स्टिल 70 kg, आई मीन इट्स अ नॉन ओलंपिक कैटेगरी, तो वो वाली भी बात आ
Mm-hmm.
जाती है वहाँ पे.
Yes,
And yeah,
yes,
and
yes.
I always feel that non-Olympic categories, the competition is lesser than Olympic categories.
But
Uh,
we know for a reason he fights in 74 and he is one of the contenders for us. So
yeah,
वो in terms of adding to his entire overall experience, confidence, तो वो वहाँ पे I think it does matter.
हाँ ठीक है. बट या 74 में तो प्रॉब्लम हुई है ना, बहुत टाइम से वी हैव हैड अ लॉट ऑफ कंटेंडर्स बट नोबडी इज बीइंग एबल टू ब्रेक थ्रू.
Yeah,
सो द
yeah.
सेम
But
थिंग
that
कंटिन्यूज
can
ना.
only be good, I think. Whosoever breaks through would be a good wrestler from India in 74 because we do have good 4 5 wrestlers at top.
दैट्स फाइन, बट होना चाहिए राइट एट सम पॉइंट ब्रेक, तो मतलब अभी तक हुआ नहीं है.
Mm.
And ठीक है, somebody pointed out like Naveen and Sagar are really young. I think one's 18, one is 19. So
Yeah, yeah,
maybe
yeah,
in the future. But yeah, as of now, on the whole, it was definitely very disappointing. The entire wrestling world
yeah.
championships. I mean, I think last time the quota world championship we had won what, 4 or 5 medals, and
Mm-hmm.
you are winning like one medal here on the non-quota world championship, which you assume is maybe not as heavily contested. You even have a situation, where at least Russia is not there. चलो एक तो major country भी no is not there. So
Mm.
Russia might not come back also. So
Yeah.
that is a different issue altogether. But yeah, for me it was definitely, as I said on Twitter, for me it felt like a disaster.
Mm. Cool. I think
काफी
enough
बात
of
कर ली,
wrestling.
हाँ.
Yeah, yeah. Let's come to the main topic, Kapil.
Hmm.
Shooting.
Okay, so shooting guys, okay, first of all, हम लोग ये we are doing this mainly because the shotgun world championship starts from Monday, which is basically for us, for India, it is the first Olympic qualifier, and it starts from Monday. But मैंने देखा था Monday से it's mainly like Monday is the arrival, and I think competition starts Wednesday, और उसमें भी competition first starts with juniors. So the actual quota events will start from next Monday, not day before that. Not 19th. Basically, it will start from like 26th, somewhere there. So time है. but yeah, we thought we'll go through maybe some sort of qualification procedure changes because shooting mein there has been a lot of changes.
Yeah, yeah. It's basically has been a overall in the entire qualification system.
तो मतलब it's a full overall of the qualification system. This is by the way the qualification doc. I think most of you must have seen that at some point. अगर किसी ने नहीं देखा है तो इसका link I have put in the description, so you can see that for yourself as well.
Hmm.
And so changes may, if you look at the changes, and basically what we'll be doing here is we'll discuss the changes and we'll say what the implications are as well, and look at our chances as well. So changes may, if you see, first of all, okay, the one thing first of all you see is like 340 shooters will be going to Tokyo this time. Sorry, going to Paris this time. जबकि last time they were 360. So last
Hmm.
तो 20 शूटर तो वहाँ पे कम हुए हैं, which is like couple of shooters every category. Not that big a deal, but ठीक है, there is a slight reduction. And also actually the majority of the reduction has come from this universality places. So
Hmm.
from an Indian perspective should not matter too much.
Yeah. Also, in terms of event, there has been a change. It used to be trap mixed earlier.
Yes,
Till I think mixed तो Tokyo में introduce हुआ था.
right.
Tokyo में it was trap. For some reason, they wanted to, give some importance to maybe skeet shooters as well. So this time around, it's skeet mixed and
Yeah.
not trap
Yeah,
mixed.
yeah, I mean, I will not honestly not be too surprised if they adopt a alternate policy कि
Yeah, 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 yeah.
एक बार ट्रैप करो एक बार स्कीट करो because rifle and pistol में it's very clear that 10 meter is the flagship event, but
Hmm.
that is not quite clear in shotgun. Shotgun में trap and skeet are generally considered at a similar level, and
Yeah,
also the crossover is less. मतलब 50-meter shooters can always shoot 10 meters, but trap shooters and skeet shooters are generally
are different.
exclusive. Yeah.
Yes, agree. Hmm.
So I won't be too surprised if they keep alternating that. But anyways, yeah, Indian point of view, so I think maybe mixed team wise, I think trap ही थोड़ा better था, but it doesn't really matter that much, right? दोनों में
Not
India ने
really. Not really. Yeah, the women's side is equally bad in on both the sides.
हाँ, yeah, वही women side के हिसाब से ही मैं बोल रहा था. I think it's
Hmm.
a little worse in skeet, but yeah, even trap is like nowhere near the elite level, so it's not gonna matter much for India. But yeah, there has been a change.
Hmm. Yeah.
And आगे जाओगे, so obviously the first big change you realize is that there are no more any quotas at the World Cups. So last मतलब normally or the for quite a few years what used to happen is you initially start off with quotas at the World Championship, which is coming up, and you then have quotas at World Cups. So जैसे अगर 2020 Olympics है, you will have a World Championship in 2018, and then you'll have 4 World Cups in 2019. So the World Cups में से quotas have been removed, but
Hmm. Kapil, do you want to bring down the document to the? There's a table with list of all the tournaments, right? Yeah, this one.
yeah, वही है. Yeah. So yeah, but one thing I noticed, if you see initially, there was actually a lot of press about how World Cup से quota हटा के they have put it into continental tournaments like
Hmm.
Asian Championships and all those things. But if you actually look at this, world versus continental का distribution ज़्यादा change नहीं हुआ है. Because
Hmm.
if you see, there is a 2022 World Championship जहाँ पे there will be 4 quotas per event. Then there is a 2023 World Championship ये रहा
Yeah, 4
2020
quotas again.
which is 4 quotas again. So yeah, 23 World Championship, 4 quotas again, and then you have a final Olympic Qualification Championship, which is a world event again, which
Yeah.
also has 2 quotas. So 4 for 2 करके there are still 10 quotas which is being awarded on a world basis. And last
Hmm.
time this number was 12. So
12.
12
Yeah.
12 का 10 हुआ है, which is slight change. And उसके बदले एशिया में last time there were 3,
एक
this
बढ़
time
गया
there
है. Hmm.
हाँ एक बढ़ गया, there's a 4. So
Yeah,
overall
वो भी that too only in specific categories. Like there were some categories 25 rapid fire. I think एशिया में already 4 थी.
हाँ, so I think वही है, specifically it's 25 rapid fire and 25 meter women only,
Hmm.
जिसमें एशिया में 4 थी. So कहाँ गया एशियन किधर है, या एशियन
क्या देखे
चैंपियनशिप
हम
ये
लोग?
रहा. हाँ, वो एशियन ढूंढ रहा था. ये सो ये
Hmm.
3-3-3-4. So there was this woman, but ठीक है, मतलब overall I don't think this is gonna have too much of an impact from a Indian perspective, or even from a qualification perspective, as to who might qualify, as to who is it
Yeah.
advantageous for it, who is it disadvantage. It's more like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
structure change हुआ है, लेकिन घूम फिर के बात वही हो गई है. Uh,
मतलब थोड़े से पॉजिटिव्स भी हैं, थोड़े से नेगेटिव्स भी हैं. जैसे एशिया में on a positive side, there are two tournaments, so you naturally would have twice the chance to qualify, right?
बट
So
कोटास भी कम हो गए, राइट? आई मीन पहले
कोटास
एशियन.
कम हो गए हैं. हाँ, वही मतलब दोनों दोनों साइड से है, तो वो
हाँ.
बिट ऑफ अनप्रिडिक्टेबिलिटी इज देयर.
हम्म.
बट आई थिंक मे बी वी कैन डिस्कस ऑन द पॉजिटिव्स और द नेगेटिव्स एंड अकॉर्डिंगली उस पे
हम्म.
इंडिया पे कैसे इम्पैक्ट है उसका.
हम्म. हाँ, तो मतलब मैं वही सोच रहा था, मतलब फॉर मी ऑनेस्टली द बिगेस्ट नेगेटिव आई कैन थिंक ऑफ एज अ फैन, एज अ प्योर
हम्म.
फैन, इसके
हम्म.
आई डोंट नाउ गेट टू सी वर्ल्ड कप्स नेक्स्ट ईयर वेयर कोटास ऑन द लाइन. So that is just a pure
हम्म.
fan perspective. I used to really enjoy watching World Cups and keep calculating as to किसको कितना quota मिला and all those things,
हम्म.
which is now no longer there in the World Cups. So for me, at least, that is the biggest factor.
Yeah, because we had gotten used to it, like
हाँ.
even from London times, London Olympic times.
हम्म.
So तब भी काफी वर्ल्ड कप कोटास इंडिया इंडिया के काफी कोटास वर्ल्ड कप से ही आए थे.
हाँ, और वर्ल्ड कप्स देखने में बहुत मजा आता था, मतलब फॉलोइंग द कोटास एंड एवरीथिंग.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
that is greatly
हाँ, there is
reduced.
some bit of permutation combination also involved कि आगे वाले जो शूटर्स हैं उनका कोटा
हाँ,
ऑलरेडी आ चुका है. So maybe even someone is fifth or sixth in line still might end up with a quota.
एग्जैक्टली. सो वो और मतलब जस्ट गोइंग थ्रू के ओके, इस कंट्री को मिल चुका है, इस कंट्री को दूसरे इवेंट में मिला है, यहाँ पे
Yeah,
इतना मिलेगा, एंड जस्ट फॉलोइंग द वर्ल्ड कप फॉर मी एटलीस्ट वाज अ वेरी एंजॉयबल एक्सपीरियंस.
yeah, yeah,
We'll still get to do that in other events, like we'll still get to do that in Asian and
yeah,
in next year's World Championship, for example.
yeah,
But
yeah.
वो एक थोड़ा मुझे लगा कि I'll miss the World Cups which used to come every 2 months. But
Do you want to highlight the biggest change that both of us feel has happened in this quota system?
हाँ, so I was coming to that, but I thought पहले let's just look at the change in
Hmm.
events. तो
Hmm.
event change में तेरे और any other opinion के
I think
क्या
let's
करें?
talk about that change also, and then maybe we can talk about ki how change in events will also, impact, because there used to be a trend which usually used to
Hmm.
happen in the previous qualification system, and
Hmm.
how that trend might change. So maybe that is how we can discuss things.
Okay.
So एक बारी वो वाला change भी discuss कर लेते हैं पहले before we jump on to event by event.
ठीक है. So what Vaibhav is mentioning is basically there are two major changes actually. The second one would not have maybe made too much of a difference, but combined with the first one एक difference आ जाता है. So the one big difference here is कि ये जो last में दिख रहा है कि one NOC can obtain only one quota in any of the individual events at a designated championship. So what
Yeah,
that means is जैसे अभी shotgun championship अभी चालू होने वाला है हफ्ते भर में, it will have 4 quotas, but 4 different countries will win 4 quotas in every event. So you cannot have a situation where China has taken the 2 quotas, or the Russia has taken the two
which
quotas,
they usually do.
which is very common, which is extremely
Hmm.
common. In fact, India के perspective से we can say this only. We started off with the 2018 World Championship where Apurvi and
Yeah,
Anjum have both won a quota.
yeah, and in the same event, if you'd remember, there were two Koreans who won the
Koreans
quota.
also, exactly. So
Korean girls.
exactly. So two Koreans and two Indians got the quota, which no longer can happen. So if India wants to win 2 quotas at 10-meter air rifle, for example, you have to win them at different events,
Yeah, yeah.
which is
I think the quotas will be a little more evenly distributed right now, especially from the world events,
hmm,
because earlier, the elitist of the countries,
hmm.
your Russia, China, like you said, even Italy,
Korea,
Korea, they would end
हाँ.
up holding all the quotas. तो वो जो extra quotas होते थे वो बाकी countries के पास distribute हो जाते थे. That is how it used to happen.
So अब है ना
So
थोड़ा
yeah.
maybe at least I mean it remains to be seen कि सिर्फ scheduling change होता है कि actually distribution भी change होता है, because you
Hmm.
have like a world championship this year, you have a world championship next year, right?
Yeah,
So instead
yeah.
of China winning 2 this time, they can easily win like
Hmm.
1 this time and 1 next time, right?
Yes, yes,
So
but the chances of that happening is anyways lesser, right?
why? It's the same thing ना घूम फिर के.
It is, मतलब because see, where I'm coming from is ultimately shooting है तो unpredictable ही, right?
हाँ, वो तो है ही, वो
So,
तो it's valid for everything.
so वही है. Okay, I'll tell you how where I'm coming from. So पहले usually what used to happen, there used to be a world championship. ठीक है.
Hmm.
China usually they used to take in some 8 or 9 quotas from that world championship, a
Hmm.
couple of quotas in some of the events,
Hmm.
and then there used to be a series of World Cup events. ठीक है.
Correct.
6-7 World Cup events before we came to the
फोर
Asian
फोर
qualifying
नहीं चार
tournament.
चार वर्ल्ड कप मतलब 4 वर्ल्ड कप इन राइफल एंड 4 इन शॉटगन.
I mean in totality हाँ
हाँ
कि शॉटगन और राइफल पिस्टल का मिला के
हाँ
सो कुछ 6-7 या जितने भी
हाँ
वर्ल्ड कप्स होते
होते
थे.
थे करेक्ट. हाँ.
Point being, by the time we used to come for Asian qualifying championship, Kapil,
हम्म.
uh, China and Korea had already exhausted all their quotas.
राइट.
ठीक है. And I have some numbers here. So जैसे मैं देख रहा था 2020 में there was zero participation from China in the Asian championship for quotas. ठीक है. Then uh, Korea, they had just won 2 quotas out of some 12 or 14 quotas that they had. Rest of all the quotas were won in those world events. ठीक है. Likewise 2016 में भी एशिया में 2016 ओलंपिक्स में चाइना हैड सम वही उनके जो यूजुअली 2022 कोटाज होते हैं, दे हैड 1 quota फ्रॉम एशियंस. रेस्ट ऑल द कोटाज केम फ्रॉम वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप एंड वर्ल्ड कप्स. ठीक है. कोरिया का भी सेम था कि only 3 quotas came from Asian qualifying. Now my point here is time I feel that because the Asian qualifying tournament happens after 2 world championships, especially for Asian countries. So ऐसा तो होगा नहीं कि let's say China has opportunity to win 24 quotas, they will win all 24 quotas in those 2 world championship. That is
Okay.
like a far-fetched thing, right?
I mean, I see your point, but हाँ ठीक है.
The point is there will be spillovers from China and Korea coming
into
into
the
Asian
Asians.
championship also, and that is going to impact India.
मतलब ठीक है. Okay, let me just put it this way. चलो, last time होता क्या था? You had 4 quotas in the World Championship. Then you had 8 quotas in the World Cups. Two each in
Yes,
4 World Cups. तो
yes.
12 कोटा है. 12 कोटा में से लेट्स से चाइना को 2 जीतने. ठीक है. 12 की जगह this time we have come to 8. कि you have a
Yes.
first World Championship, you have a second World Championship, 4 and 4, and then there is an additional restriction कि you cannot win 2 on either of them. It has to be like 1 in the first World Championship and 1 in the second World Championship. So वो पहले जो 12 में से 2 जीतने थे, अब 8 में से 2 जीतने. Okay, so in that sense, yes, there is a better chance कि they will still have
Probability
open
कम हो गई है ना.
हाँ probability कम हो गई. They will still have open quotas in the Asian Championship. I guess the counterpoint to that is कि you still have a final World Championship qualifier in the end जो पहले नहीं था. So by the time
No,
we हाँ so
but I think the bigger counterpoint here is if China does not end up winning 2 quotas that they usually used to do, those quotas are also going to come to you, right? So India
exactly
usually
हाँ
जैसे इंडिया ने कभी वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप में 2 कोटा से ज्यादा नहीं जीते हैं. ठीक है. इन टोटलिटी.
हाँ
तो इस बारी बिकॉज चाइना कोरिया रशिया तो है ही नहीं. दैट इज ऑल्सो अ मेजर फैक्टर वी नीड टू टॉक अबाउट,
but
राइट?
that is not due to qualification, right? मतलब वो qualification process का impact नहीं, वो तो general impact है.
हाँ जनरल इम्पैक्ट है बट क्वालिफिकेशन में तो इम्पैक्ट होगा ना कि जैसे इस
हाँ.
एटलीस्ट 2022 वाले वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप में देयर इज नो रशिया. So Russia, which used to have 10, 13, 10, 12 quotas usually from World Championship only, those quotas are done.
Yeah.
Those quotas are available basically. Now, so China, if they are winning 1 quota, which usually they used to win both the quotas in that event, so that quota is also getting available, and that increases India's chances also.
Or winning at the
So
world events. हाँ.
world events, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So ultimately, ये
घूम फिर के सेम ही हो
let's
जाता
say
है.
घूम फिर के सेम हो जाता है. on
हाँ.
papers, if let's say we are at a similar level, performing at a similar level where we were before Tokyo, and I think
You
I'm
still
gutsy when I say that. But still मतलब वो जो 2 quotas थे that should on an average दो I think मैंने लिखा हुआ है 2012 में in fact we won 3 from World Championship, 16 में we won 2, 2020 में we won 2 from World Championship. So those quotas 2 should become 3, right? So and वो दोनों World Championship में अगर 3-3 टेक आइडियली आते हैं, so it's ultimately सेम ही हो जाता है वो.
हाँ वही दोनों वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप में 3-3 आए तो 6 हो गया राइट. दैट्स इक्विवेलेंट टू जितना हम लोग वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप प्लस वर्ल्ड कप्स में जीतते थे राइट.
थोड़ा सा कम. सो जैसे
बट वो
वर्ल्ड
तो
कप
फिर
में.
12 का 8 भी हो गया ना, तो थोड़ा
हाँ
तो
हाँ,
इम्पैक्ट
वो
आएगा ही
भी
ना.
है. राइट राइट.
बिकॉज यहाँ पे एंड के दो बचे हैं राइट. द फाइनल वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप में जो होगा वॉट एवर इज लेफ्ट, दैट फाइनल वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप इज स्टिल देयर.
या
Yeah, but
अग्री.
yeah, but we missed another point as well, which is
हम्म.
the other point. Ke in order to win a quota, you have to get to the final at least.
Yes. Was that rule always there?
No, it
I'm
was
not
not there.
sure.
I remember Miraj won a quota. I don't know whether I think Rio का quota. Miraj won Rio का quota. I remember I was not in India. मैं कहीं बाहर था, and I had seen on just phone पे. Miraj won a quota by finishing 7th, and he had not reached the
16
final.
you're talking about,
Yeah, I
2016.
think 16. Yes,
Okay. Okay. Do you want to elaborate more on that?
he finished 7th and he got the quota. All the top
No,
six
no, no,
are there.
no. About the rule, I'm saying.
So the rule is simply
Just for
ke,
viewers.
yeah, so the rule is simply that earlier the rule was ke if let's say a particular World Cup offers two quotas, then the highest two eligible shooters will get the quota. And eligibility always comes ke you should not have won a quota before, and your country should not have already won two quotas in the event. So as
Hmm.
long as you are so as long as you're quota eligible, your final rank doesn't matter. The highest two guys get the quota. And so I remember Rio में हुआ था मेराज अहमद where skeet में obviously there used to be 6 finalists. So Mehraj
Hmm.
Ahmed Khan had finished either 7th or maybe even 8th, and 7th or 8th, despite not even reaching the final, he
Yeah.
got the quota because all the finalists were quota ineligible. So now
Okay,
that
but
was
anyways, how are things going to go then?
yeah. So
Let's
then
say
so we
their
go to quota
situation.
reallocation. So we go to quota reallocation.
Oh, okay,
Which by the
cool.
way is the most major change. If you want to come to it, we can take it straight away, or we can come to
Hmm.
it later. वो quota
Yeah, we can
reallocation.
talk about it.
Quota reallocation is the biggest change actually, even more than all this. But we'll come to that. But yeah, so this see honestly, I think winning a quota by not reaching the final was pretty rare. Okay, so in that sense, it is not that big a thing. But when you combine it with the fact कि एक country में एक ही quota जा सकता है, then now this becomes a big thing. Because you can easily have a situation where let's say you have 3 finalists from China
Hmm.
and तीन में से एक कोटा ले गया बट बचे हुए दो को तो कोटा नहीं मिलने वाला है.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
then so 8 में से 4 people being quota eligible from 4 different countries is
Hmm.
not मतलब it's possible obviously and it is likely, but it's not definitely unlikely कि it doesn't happen. You have let's say
Yeah.
3 चाइनीज पहुंच गए, 2 कोरियन पहुंच गए, 2 इंडियन पहुंच गए, एक कोई डेनमार्क वाली पहुंच गई लेट्स से हु ऑलरेडी हैज अ कोटा. सो नाउ यू हैव अ कोटा व्हिच इज नॉट गॉन. सो वो कोटा एम्प्टी जाएगा at that
Hmm.
point. And so that can be a big change, and I think we can just take it right away. The other big change is the reallocation. तो रीअलोकेशन में लास्ट टाइम क्या होता था. सो नाउ रीअलोकेशन अप्लाइज जैसे मैंने बोला इन केसेस लाइक दिस वेयर कोटा वाज नॉट अवॉर्डेड टू समबडी एट ऑल, और यू कैन हैव अ सिचुएशन वेयर लेट्स से जैसे जैसे कोटा एक्सचेंज सिचुएशंस आती है where for example you might have won 2 quotas in 50 meter and you have won 2 quotas in 10 meter as well, लेकिन you want to send the same shooter in both 50 meter and 10 meter. So then you have an additional quota which one you can exchange, the second one just goes to waste and you return it to the ISSF. So
Yeah.
and the third one, which is probably the biggest chunk, are the host country quotas. So France
Hmm.
has like one free quota in every event, but that quota is valid only if they don't win a single quota. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so all these quotas पहले क्या होता था, they used to be awarded to countries who do not have a single quota across the entire Olympics. So they essentially used to become universality quotas. कि
Hmm.
वो अलग अलग कंट्रीज को देते थे कि एक भी शूटर नहीं है तो भैया एक शूटर तो भेज लो. But now that has changed. Now that entire reallocation will happen based on world rankings.
Hmm.
And
Yeah. Yeah, and I think since we are on world ranking, I think we need to, like, our federation needs to focus not just from a reallocation basis, but even there is one quota on based on world ranking as well, right?
right,
So we need to focus on that, and whatever the system is for calculated those rankings, we need to get a hang of it, and we actually need to sort of capitalize on it, so that ultimately some of our quotas ideally should be coming there. We basically need to send our shooters to, let's say, even if
Grand
world
Prix events.
cups are
Hmm.
if World Cups have a more weightage in that ranking, or Grand Prix events have, or Continental Championship have, basically we need to sort of champion that ranking system, whatever that is, and
Yeah,
not just ignore it totally.
yeah, and by the way, I'm just showing the ranking system, and honestly, the policy we have adopted is actually the opposite of it, because the qualification
Because
ranking is now based on all these events. You have World Championship,
okay,
World Cups, Grand Prix, and Continental Championships
mm,
and Continental Games, and it
yeah,
says actually your ranking will be based on your best 10 events. So 10 is
okay,
not less, huh? Ten is a lot of events. So
mm.
your ranking will be based on your best 10 events, and we have instead adopted a policy where
Of not sending shooters to all the World Cups.
so we adopted a policy that no shooter can go to, for example, more than two World Cups.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
ranking wise, this can hurt. Right now, they are not
Yes,
worrying about it, and I don't know,
yes.
if it will come back to. We might have to pay the price for it, and
Yeah, and I don't know what the rationale is behind that, because after Tokyo there was a lot of press around that we end up participating in a lot of World Cups, and that is what became a disadvantage for us.
वही
I
हुआ ना.
don't
I don't
I
agree
don't
with it.
see a
हाँ.
connect. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I mean, I always felt after Tokyo कि World Cups were basically blamed for the performance. कि हम लोग हर
yeah.
जगह जाके वर्ल्ड कप
हाँ,
में compete
स्केपगोट
करते
उन्हीं को
रहते
ही
हैं.
बना दिया. यस,
हाँ, वो
यस.
स्केपगोट बन गया था वर्ल्ड कप. बट
हम्म.
तो और उसके वजह से फिर ये भी हो गया कि ठीक है, अनदर थिंग यू कैन से कि मोर पीपल विल गेट एक्सपीरियंस इन वर्ल्ड कप्स एंड कीप
या ठीक है, वो अभी पता
हाँ.
चल जाएगा ना, इसी वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप में पता चल जाएगा. सो राइट नाउ व्हाट the the shooters that we are entering in this world championship are those only who do not have a lot of international experience, right?
करेक्ट.
Because they haven't participated in a lot of world cups. They were made to participate in one world cup and then they were asked to skip another one, है ना? तो अब कितना वो फैक्टर इन होता है, कितना वो पॉजिटिवली फैक्टर इन होता है, और कितना वो काउंटर इंट्यूटिव होता है, पता चल जाएगा
टाइम
वो.
है. बट आई रियली डू होप एट सम पॉइंट वी स्टार्ट थिंकिंग कि भैया ये रैंकिंग भी ऊपर करनी है, बिकॉज आई गिव यू एन एग्जांपल. फॉर एग्जांपल ये ओके. So if you see यहाँ पे in the 25-meter rapid fire pistol, France has already won one quota, right?
हम्म.
So
हम्म.
France का host nation का quota has now already come to world rankings. तो वर्ल्ड रैंकिंग में ऑलरेडी 25-मीटर रैपिड फायर पिस्टल में फॉर एग्जांपल एक की जगह दो कोटा तो हो ही गए.
हम्म.
ठीक है, एंड यू माइट हैव मोर रीअलोकेशंस कमिंग इन, बट फ्रांस का तो काफी जगह आने वाला है, बिकॉज फ्रांस इज अ
Okay.
प्रीटी स्ट्रॉन्ग कंट्री, राइट? सो
Kapil, so I did check on France's quota. Last year, I think unke 10 or some 10-11 quotas were only there, and that too only in those strong events like 25 rapid fire, or I think air pistol or rifle में ही basically spread out थे.
हाँ, बट
तो
दैट्स
overall इतनी ज़्यादा strong country नहीं है
बट
in
बट
shooting terms.
बट दैट्स क्वाइट अ लॉट एनीवेज, राइट? बिकॉज ऑल दे हैव टू डू इज विन वन कोटा. ऐसा नहीं है कि सेकंड कोटा आता है. जैसे 10
Hmm.
मीटर एयर राइफल में एक भी कोटा जीता, वर्ल्ड रैंकिंग इज गोइंग फ्रॉम 1 to 2 straight away. So
Okay.
so two quotas through world rankings, every in every event.
And by the way, the world ranking quota belongs to the shooter and not to the NOC, right?
हाँ, वो तो है, वो ठीक है.
मतलब वो बोला नहीं ना अभी हमने, वो तो है. तो
हाँ.
लास्ट टाइम भी वैसे ही था, एंड यूजुअली
हम्म.
बाकी स्पोर्ट्स में भी जैसा ये होता है.
हम्म.
बट जस्ट टू क्लैरिफाई कि हाउ इट इज डिफरेंट इज, लेट्स से Anjum Mudgil is winning a quota for air rifle. She's winning it for India, right?
Correct.
And someone else can go in place of her,
Correct.
as had happened last time.
Hmm.
But if she's winning it from a world ranking qualification system, so then she only has to enter. Nobody else can enter because the quota belongs to her in individual, as an individual shooter.
Correct. And by the way, talking about world rankings, another change also which has been instituted from last time to this time is that last time there was a rule that if you already have one quota, then your second quota cannot come through world ranking.
Mm,
That also
yeah.
they have changed this time.
Yeah, that has changed. Yes, Vasant is also saying that,
Hmm.
and yeah, I think that's a good change, right?
Yeah.
मतलब वो restrict नहीं करता है.
Let's put it this way. That's definitely a change which benefits someone like India more often
It
than not.
will. Yes,
बट वो
yes, it will.
उल्टा भी हो सकता है, बट मोर ऑफन जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल लास्ट टाइम इफ यू
I
सी
think for countries who have good depth across the events, it is going to
जनरली,
benefit those.
या बट इट कैन हर्ट ऑल्सो, राइट? जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल लास्ट टाइम 25-मीटर रैपिड फायर पिस्टल था, वेयर वी डिड नॉट हैव अ सिंगल कोटा, and we were looking for the first quota through the World Championships.
Yes,
And
yes.
if this rule would have been there, then there were other shooters who could
World
have got.
ranking, you mean? We were
Huh,
looking.
yeah, and we were looking for first quota through world rankings in rapid
Mm,
fire.
mm,
And had this rule been there कि second quota भी मिल सकता है world rankings के through, then there were a few European countries who would have easily got the quota ahead of us. But
yeah.
as it turned out, it basically just came down to that final Delhi World Cup. कि whoever wins
Mm.
the gold there gets the quota, and I think Vijay Veer Sidhu ended with a silver in the shoot off.
Yeah, it
So
was very close.
so it can be negative also, but I think overall that is generally a positive for the big countries, or for the
Mm.
strong countries like India. Though yeah,
Yeah.
but the biggest change for me is definitely ke France ke host quotas are not going to smaller countries, but they are going to world rankings. So you need
Yeah.
to.
So all in all, the point is we need to focus not just on,
Mm,
grabbing the quotas, winning the quotas, but we need to focus on keeping our rankings up.
and by the way, just talking about world rankings, there is another impact which is in mixed team. So
Hmm.
mixed team में there was no such rule last time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But right now
But
they.
ठीक है वो तो इतना impact I don't think it impacts India from any angle, right? Last time as it happened, both the mixed event quotas I think went to China and Russia only in both the
नहीं नहीं
events.
नहीं नहीं that's not what I'm talking. I'm saying ये दूसरा वाला ठीक है, mixed team के कोटा हट गए, that is fine. That
Hmm.
is not really a major change. What I'm saying is now there is a limit on the number of mixed teams that can compete.
Yes, that is
Okay.
there.
So
Based on the slots that are there in the qualification range,
yes, and
right?
we don't even know what that number is. So for example, so this basically means
But yeah,
that.
that you can get to know. So basically, I don't know हर एक shooting range which is like eligible for a World Cup उसमें same ही रखना होता है or not. I don't know that, but I think uh, before every Olympics there is a World Cup which happens in that same venue, right? Like an
Hmm,
year before or some
hmm.
months before. So वहां से वो चीज पता चल
हाँ
जाएगी
नहीं,
how many.
पता तो चल ही जाएगा, अपने को नहीं पता चलेगा तो भी फेडरेशन को पता चल जाएगा. आई मीन दैट इज नॉट
Mm-hmm.
दैट बिग अ डील टू फाइंड आउट.
Okay, maybe you were pointing towards something else.
हाँ नहीं, सो आई एम सेइंग के फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे राइफल एंड पिस्टल में देयर इज नाउ अ रिस्ट्रिक्शन वेयर, सो लेट्स से फ्रांस हैज फॉर एग्जांपल 50 फायरिंग पॉइंट्स. ओके,
Mm-hmm.
एंड बाय द वे 10 मीटर का फायरिंग पॉइंट इज द सेम गाइस. ओके, राइफल का फायरिंग पॉइंट एंड पिस्टल का फायरिंग पॉइंट इज द सेम, दे जस्ट चेंज द टारगेट्स. So let's say France has 50 firing points in rifle pistol. That means only 25 mixed teams can compete.
Mm.
And if it means only 25 mixed teams can compete, and if more of them have entered, entering means ke, let's say, let's take a random country, let's say Denmark. Okay, so Denmark has two shooters competing in 10-meter rifle men, and two shooters competing in rifle women. They have all qualified. So in general, you will expect that they will submit two teams in mixed team as well. So
Yeah,
mixed teams are formed from players in the individual events. और
yeah.
वही let's say अभी you have different countries in the men and women event. So men event में let's say डेनमार्क का एक ही है, वुमेन में अगर डेनमार्क का कोई नहीं है तो देन डेनमार्क विल नॉट कम्पीट. डेनमार्क की जगह लेट्स से उधर नॉर्वे है, तो इधर डेनमार्क एक है इधर नॉर्वे एक है, नीदर ऑफ देम कैन कम्पीट. बट वही डेनमार्क इधर एक है नॉर्वे इधर एक है, देन दे विल कम्पीट इन मिक्स टीम. सो मिक्स टीम में नाउ देयर इज अ लिमिट, and it will be decided based on world ranking, and it will happen in the end. So you might have
If there is a tie,
but if the teams are too many. So if the
yes.
teams are too
You
many,
think there are going to be too many teams? I don't think so.
so I checked last time ka record. Okay, rifle में there were 29 teams who competed,
Hmm.
and I don't see them having 29 into 258 firing points. मेरे को लगता है ये रूल आया उसी के लिए है.
Okay.
ट्रैप में भी
I'm
अगर.
just trying to recall Rio में कैसा था. So I don't know. At least 40 firing points तो होते ही हैं. So
वेल
you can easily assume that.
हाँ, सो 40 तो होंगे. वेल क्लियर
40-50 भी हो सकते हैं मतलब
हाँ
50 तक तो जा सकते हैं आई
होने
थिंक.
को हो ही सकता है. मतलब सी अ क्लियर इंडिकेशन देयर इज इंडिविजुअल में कितने, राइट? इंडिविजुअल में वी हैव 25 कोटास तो ऑफिशियल है. सो 25 शूटर्स तो आर डेफिनेटली गोइंग. नॉर्मली देयर आर ऑलवेज लाइक एटलीस्ट अबाउट 7-8 डबल स्टार्टर्स, मतलब जो थ्री पोजीशन वाले एयर राइफल में भी compete करेंगे. सो यू एड दैट, सो मतलब यू वुड इमेजिन 25 प्लस लेट्स से 10 डबल स्टार्टर्स, दैट्स 35 पॉइंट्स, राइट?
या
Realistically,
या.
they need only about 35, maybe 40. Now, do they make 50? That's up to them.
Yeah, I think because Olympic ranges are usually larger
Smaller.
than
No, they're
normal
smaller, na,
normal world.
because no, they're smaller, na, because they are made specially for
Yeah, they
them.
are made specially, but what I remember from Rio, it was like a very long qualification range I'm talking about.
Hmm.
Final में तो ठीक है 8 या 10 spots होते ही हैं,
Hmm.
but it was a huge qualification range.
यार मु-
Easily there were.
यार मुझे तो करनी से छोटी लगी थी. If you thought करनी
नहीं,
से
but
ना.
तू ये देखना कि so let's take it this way. Usually, let's say for a 10-meter air pistol or 10-meter air rifle,
Hmm.
how many qualifiers are there
So
that start?
हाँ, so
वो
it's
चेक कर लेते हैं ना.
नहीं तो वही तो बोला, it's 25. 25 are the quotas, and then let's say another 10 double starters. So around 35-40 से
वो
ऊपर
तो
starters नहीं है.
लास्ट टाइम कितने
हाँ, देख ले.
ने किया था वो पता चल जाएगा.
यार
या
देख.
बट दैट्स अ गुड इंडिकेटर. उसका 5 to 6 मे बी बफर यू कैन टेक. बट या आई गॉट योर पॉइंट. बट आई थिंक इंडिया डज नॉट स्टैंड इम्पैक्टेड ऑन बेस्ड ऑन दैट, राइट? बिकॉज हमारा मिक्स्ड में फ्रॉम अ क्वालिफिकेशन स्टैंड पॉइंट तो मतलब based on how it happened in Tokyo, I think we will be in a fair position to qualify easily. Rankings भी we can assume कि हाँ will be higher than other countries. थोड़ा सा जो fringe countries हैं
हम्म.
जहाँ पे let's say how do I give an example? Maybe let's say Hungary.
हम्म.
So maybe they are good on the men's side, but not so much on the women's side,
But
especially in rifle. So उन countries को थोड़ा सा problem हो सकती है.
but
Not where both the genders are strong.
but see, we are dealing eventually with shooters here who have qualified eventually. If you have
हम्म.
not, so who have won a quota, right? We are,
हाँ, so मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ ना.
hmm.
I am assuming our shooters
We should
ranking
be
will
okay.
be higher on a higher side, so we don't stand that impacted.
Yeah, I agree. It's unlikely that we get
Mm,
impacted. Okay,
yeah.
let me put it that way. I'm not saying it definitely we will not be impacted, but yeah, it is unlikely. The I think more the biggest impacts is probably for shooters who have maybe just a 50-meter quota and who are also competing in 10 meters, because the
Mm,
10-meter rankings will be considered, not the 50-meter rankings. So ज़्यादा impact उन पे होगा. बट दी ओनली काउंटर पॉइंट देयर इज कि अगेन वही बात हो जाती है कि अगर रैंकिंग में हम लोग ने ये किया ना कि वी आर सेंडिंग डिफरेंट शूटर्स एवरीवेयर, देन वी कैन हैव अ सिचुएशन के नन ऑफ द शूटर्स हैव इनफ रैंकिंग पॉइंट्स.
yeah, yeah.
वो एक इशू. और आई थिंक मोर इसमें इस वाले इशू में ये ज़्यादा है कि देर इज जस्ट अ फियर फैक्टर देयर. आई मीन डू यू डज दिस स्टार्ट मेकिंग एन इम्पैक्ट ऑन टीम सिलेक्शन टुवर्ड्स द एंड? कि maybe there is one shooter who has a higher ranking and there's another shooter who's a lower ranking, and NRI gets worried के ये lower ranking वाला mixed team में compete नहीं कर पाएगा तो higher वाले को ही भेज देते हैं.
Yes, yes, that is going
That
to
is.
happen.
हाँ.
But वही है ना, मतलब if we reach that situation,
हम्म.
मतलब we are using that as a hypothetical situation. वो ही मेरे को लग रहा है कि I don't think we will reach that situation कि वो उस चीज की नौबत भी आएगी.
Yeah, hopefully नहीं, but it is something just to keep at the back of the mind.
Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely.
And yeah, by the way, skeet में भी I checked trap में last time for example 16 team थी. Skeet पे they have defined clearly के
18,
18
yeah.
है. So that is pretty
Mm,
close, right? मतलब there will be
mm,
you can easily have a situation where a couple of teams miss out. But yeah,
yeah.
unlikely it will be India though.
Mm,
But it is just a fear factor, it is always there. You
yeah,
can't be sure about it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
क्या होगा.
So
and and and
talking.
and by the way, also the other factor कि because you have a situation where reallocation is coming to reallocation is coming to the strong countries, then world ranking maybe you can get a second quota. There might be more countries this time who have double quotas and who have participants both ways. Matlab
Mm,
the stronger countries might have more quotas this time because of this reallocation and this world ranking. So if stronger
yes,
countries
yes,
have more
that is one
quotas,
angle.
yeah, so
Mm,
stronger countries have more quotas, it means mixed teams also ज़्यादा हो गई.
yeah, yeah, but वो भी फिर वही है ना. Let's say from China's perspective, now they also have a habit of not sending
या
the
हाँ,
regular shooters
उन
in
लोग को भी
back to
फिर
back
भेजना
World Cup.
पड़ेगा शायद. हाँ.
वो भी भेजना पड़ेगा. या आई डोंट थिंक वो उनके लिए भी वो सिचुएशन कभी आएगी. दे एंड अप विनिंग कोटाज एनीवेज ओनली. वो रैंकिंग तक पहुंच ही नहीं पाएंगे. मतलब उनके कोटाज पहले ही एग्जॉस्ट हो जाएंगे
हाँ
एशियन तक भी.
कोटास तो एग्जॉस्ट हो जाएंगे, लेकिन मिक्स टीम इज नॉट अबाउट कोटास, राइट? मिक्स टीम इज
हाँ,
इवेंचुअली
मिक्स्ड
कम टू
के ठीक
रैंकिंग्स।
है, मिक्स्ड टीम के लिए ठीक है। आई वाज टॉकिंग कि वो जो रीएलोकेटेड कोटास फ्रॉम रैंकिंग मिलने वाले हैं वो।
वो भी यार एक दो तो आएंगे ही, स्पेशली शॉटगन में। कहीं ना कहीं
हम्म।
कुछ तो आ ही जाएगा कहीं ना कहीं से।
या बट आई थिंक थोड़ा सा ये है कि एक और चीज़ है फ्रॉम अ इंडिया स्टैंड पॉइंट, हम लोगों ने हमेशा वी हैव रिलाइड ऑन एशियन क्वालिफाइंग थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा।
हम्म।
ठीक है, हमारा जैसे अगर वर्ल्ड वर्सेस कॉन्टिनेंटल का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन देखें तो इट्स ऑलवेज ऑलमोस्ट बीन इक्वल। जैसे
हम्म।
if I quote the numbers, last time how it happened, we in totality we had won 14 quotas, right? उसमें
15 ना, आई थिंक 15 में भी।
15 or maybe 14.
हम्म।
So उसमें we won two in world championship,
हम्म।
six came from the world cups,
हम्म।
and six, I don't know, maybe I miscounted or something, but the distribution was six came from Asian championship,
हम्म।
right?
हम्म।
Including the two quotas from skeet. You would remember
या
Angad and Mairaj had one,
करेक्ट।
right? So we do rely a lot on Asian championships. अब इस टाइम क्या है, मतलब on a positive side, yes, you have twice the chance to qualify from Asian. That is one thing. But थोड़ा सा, if you remember, even before Tokyo, we should have won two more quotas.
हम्म।
I remember जैसे I think किसका बोल रहे थे तुम,
रैपिड फायर।
रैपिड फायर में, एंड ऑल्सो आई थिंक इन 53p में
हम्म।
there should have been one more quota for us.
हम्म।
And even before Rio, you would remember there were 2 to 3 events जिसमें we were very very close, but I think because of the pressure we could not win it.
हम्म।
I think you both of us were there only in Delhi range
या
when that Akhil Sheoran ka 10-meter
डबल
air
ट्रैप,
rifle quota,
एंड ऑल्सो
double
डबल
trap,
ट्रैप।
and
हम्म।
yes, double trap as well. So
हम्म।
my point being, even if there is a theory existing that Asian qualifying is the last tournament, and that is the last chance that you have to ultimately win a quota,
हम्म।
this time that is not the case, because आप एशियन चैंपियनशिप पहले में खेलोगे, देन यूल हैव अनदर एशियन चैंपियनशिप एंड अनदर वर्ल्ड
हम्म।
इवेंट जहाँ पे सिर्फ सिलेक्टेड शूटर्स होंगे which will participate who haven't won that quota,
या।
right? So
हम्म।
maybe the first Asian qualifying tournament, the pressure won't be as it used to be in the earlier cycles.
ठीक
So
है।
that is where I think we need to make the max out of it. We need to capitalize full on
हम्म।
both this world championship wherein Russia is not there,
हम्म।
and who knows, Russia comes back
बाय
in
नेक्स्ट ईयर, हाँ।
by next year, right? We
हम्म।
don't know that.
या।
So जहाँ जहाँ पे भी opportunity मिल रही है, I think we this time around we need to start from the very beginning instead of just relying on कि ठीक है एशिया में तो आ ही जाएंगे, वैसा इस साल इस बार ही नहीं है.
या इस बार ऐसा डेफिनेटली नहीं है कि यू फील के यार ये टूर्नामेंट में कुछ ना कुछ तो आ ही जाता है,
यस,
बिकॉज
यस,
कोटास की
हर एक
कमी है।
टूर्नामेंट से कुछ ना कुछ लेना पड़ेगा.
हाँ, क्योंकि एशिया में भी फॉर एग्जांपल लास्ट टाइम भी 3 to 4 कोटास थे, राइट? वो भी दो हो गए हैं, जो
हम्म.
मतलब दो डिफरेंट एशियन चैंपियनशिप होगी, यू हैव 2 and 2।
यस, यस.
एंड एंड यू आल्सो कैन नॉट विन 2 कोटास एट द सेम प्लेस, दो दैट्स वैलिड फॉर अदर्स एज वेल।
या
तो जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल वही रियो में मुझे याद है डबल ट्रैप में कतार दोनों कोटा लेके गया था, एंड वी वर लेफ्ट एम्प्टी
एंड
हैंडेड।
या एंड आई थिंक टिल थर्ड और फोर्थ
कतार या
राउंड वी
कुवैत
वर.
में भी, नॉट नॉट कतार, कुवैत में भी, हाँ।
And we had I think two shooters in the final.
या वी हैड 2 शूटर्स इन द फाइनल, स्टिल एक भी
And
कोटा
there were
नहीं मिला।
three
नहीं
quotas
नहीं, दो ही थे, दो
to
ही
be
थे।
won. दो थे.
दो थे।
अच्छा, ठीक है.
हाँ।
दोनों ही अंकुर मित्तल and there used to be one more, right?
मोहम्मद असाब।
मोहम्मद असाब. Yes.
हम्म।
So ये चीजें, how else can you explain these things other than pressure? कि
हम्म।
last chance है, there is no other chance.
हम्म।
But इस बारी that is not the case. So maybe things are a little
विल बी वेट।
different.
हाँ, इस बार लास्ट चांस विल बी द फाइनल वर्ल्ड क्वालिफायर, एंड
Yes,
उसके
and even after that, world
वर्ल्ड
rankings.
रैंकिंग है, एंड यू हैव एन गुड आइडिया कि वर्ल्ड रैंकिंग में सिचुएशन क्या है, बिकॉज अरे
Yeah,
भैया इवन द वर्ल्ड रैंकिंग हैज चेंज, हाँ, लॉट ऑफ
the system in of
सिस्टम,
calculating world ranking.
yeah, has been completely changed. I mean, I don't think want to get too detailed into it, लेकिन
Yeah, maybe they saved a couple of hours for you,
हाँ।
and you won't get to do all those calculations. I think you did last time, if I'm
नहीं,
not wrong.
हाँ
कुछ
नहीं,
किया था, कैलकुलेट पोस्ट किया था, या मेरे
हाँ
को ऐसे याद है?
कैलकुलेट किया था, लेकिन कैलकुलेट तो इस बार भी होगा, ऐसा नहीं है कि नहीं होगा।
चल ठीक है, अच्छी बात है, कैलकुलेट
मेथड,
करना। कीप अस पोस्टेड।
हाँ वो मेथड अलग हो जाता है, लेकिन द बिगेस्ट चेंज आई वांट टू से इन वर्ल्ड रैंकिंग्स इज शूटिंग वर्ल्ड रैंकिंग सो फार हैव बीन हाईली रीसेंसी बेस्ड। मतलब इट्स
हम्म
प्रीटी मच ओनली द लास्ट टूर्नामेंट दैट मैटर्स। सो जिसके वजह से टोक्यो के पहले भी सिचुएशन हो गई थी कि वी हैड दैट लास्ट वर्ल्ड कप इन दिल्ली, एंड इट वाज बेसिकली आई थिंक whoever wins gold in Delhi, he is getting the world ranking quota.
And that thing still stands.
Yeah, this will not stand anymore, because now you
Okay.
have a case where the world ranking will be based on your best
Top
10
10
events,
tournament.
top 10
What
events.
top 10 events from what duration? Over what duration?
So once the qualification process starts, so qualification process has
Okay.
started. So going forward, every world championship, so किधर था, हाँ ये रहा, every
Hmm.
world championship, every world cup, every grand prix, and every Asian championship or Asian games. So
Hmm.
all of them you can earn points, and points can also be earned right up to 50th place. So if you see,
Hmm.
it depends on the number of competitors as well. So it's like if you finish last, you're not getting a point, but
Yeah.
right up till 50th place you can win points, and it will, I think it's based on the best 10, so which is
Okay.
a lot. So मतलब
Yeah, which
ranking,
is a good thing. Yeah.
हाँ, so मतलब ranking you'll know reasonably easily. मतलब
Hmm.
it will not be a situation कि we are sitting in February 24 and we are wondering कि world ranking मिलेगा कि नहीं मिलेगा. You have a
Hmm.
pretty good idea where you are in the world ranking, and it's
Yeah.
not like कि in one tournament you can jump from like world number 200 to world number 6.
Mm. Although I do hope someone is taking note of all of these in our federation, and they
हाँ,
are devising some sort of strategy.
I think,
यूजुअली अपने फेडरेशंस में नहीं करते हैं ना, मतलब
हाँ,
मेरे को तो बेसिकली बैडमिंटन की सिचुएशन देख के एवरी ओलंपिक्स आई सॉर्ट ऑफ गेट वेरी सरप्राइज, बिकॉज बैडमिंटन qualification is one of the simplest that you can have.
hmm.
But sometimes when you read the players interview, coaches interview, they
They think
they
कि हम लोग का
absolutely
चांस है,
don't.
हाँ.
हाँ, मतलब they don't have much of an idea in terms of their qualifications
Hmm.
standings.
Hmm.
तो वो काफी सरप्राइजिंग लगती है.
I mean the
And this
only,
is a bit more complicated, so I'm not sure how much is
hmm.
getting registered.
I mean the only thing you can say is कि maybe if somebody can do it, probably NRAI can do it.
Hmm.
But yeah, right now I think they have taken more of a wait and watch policy. कि
Yeah, yeah,
देखते हैं क्या होगा. They are not
yeah,
sending teams to Grand Prix. They are sending different people to World Cups.
yeah.
They are basically in a wait and watch mode, and I think they
Hmm.
will start looking at the world rankings only sometime next year.
Mm.
Right now they don't
And
care.
उसका पता है, उसका I think also you would have seen, maybe we can touch upon it later on, because NRAI ने अपनी selection policy भी थोड़ी सी change की है ना,
Hmm.
on based on that system they are selecting these shooters for world championship or world cups
Hmm.
basically. Maybe we'll touch upon that as well, वो उसमें क्या changes आए हैं, because I noticed something that उसमें भी flaws हैं, even though it is making it, मतलब you can see the objective is to make it high performance over a consistent period of time,
Hmm.
but वो भी थोड़े थोड़े उसको भी shooters misuse कर ही रहे हैं. We'll talk about it later on, ठीक है,
ठीक है.
once we are done with this. But
हाँ.
yeah, one thing I wanted to talk about from world championship standpoint again is uh, the second world championship that is going to happen.
Hmm.
वहां पे एक ये चीज भी होने वाली है that the Europeans,
Hmm.
so once they enter that second world championship, they will enter after having been through three tournaments. The first
Okay.
world championship,
हाँ.
and then they'll also have three more quotas per event that they can win from two European tournaments. One is, I think, European 10 meter,
10 meter.
one is European Games, and another one is the specific
European 10
event,
meter.
right?
Yeah.
So you also factor in that, ठीक है, शूटिंग में इतना बोल नहीं सकते, बट द क्रीम
Hmm.
will get excluded already, right, once we enter that second world championship. And I think same is the case with Americans also. So they do have one continental tournament जहाँ पे उनका एक कोटा तो है, and पैन अमेरिका में usually it is the US only
US
winning
who
all the
gets it.
quotas, right? So even you can assume that even the elite shooters which are there, they are also going to get excluded. So second world championship थोड़ा सा तो diluted field ही होगी वहां पे,
Hmm.
but Russia might change all the dynamics if Russia enters.
See, I agree completely. I mean, this I think is definitely one advantage for not just India, for entire Asia.
Yes.
We are going into the world events first, so our top guys should be able to win quotas at worlds and then leave the Asian quotas for maybe the lesser shooters. And yeah, of course, जैसे बाबर ने बोला, this is shooting, it's very close. It's not like the top guy is the top guy, हमेशा top guy ही जीतता है. But theoretically,
Hmm.
our best guys should get quotas at the world championships, and the Asian quotas then can come to the lesser guys.
Yeah.
But in Europe and America, you have other continental championships happening before the world championship, so their top guys take the European quotas rather than taking the world quotas. So that is definitely an advantage for Asia, and it is honestly just a scheduling benefit that we have. In fact, even
Yes.
इस वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप पे वही बात है, राइट? अबाउट 2 quotas have been awarded in most events, I think. 10 मीटर में अवार्ड नहीं हुआ है, बट 10 मीटर में होने वाला है कि नहीं? नहीं, 10 मीटर में होने नहीं वाला है. So except for 10 meters, the 2 quotas have been awarded in every event in Europe. So that
Hmm.
is definitely a benefit for
Yeah.
all Asian countries.
Yeah.
Not
And
huge, but thoda bahut.
and I just remembered, not just Russia. You never know. Maybe North Korea returns next year.
हाँ.
North Korea has a decent bit of shooting field, right?
Yeah, but not
Pistol,
that
rifle.
scary. But not that scary, right?
Not
Russia is
that
that.
scary, but they can
हाँ.
anytime come to the Olympics and get a medal, and we just stand there watching.
हाँ, वो तो यार अब होता ही है, उसका तो कोई कुछ कर नहीं सकता. बट ठीक है. Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
most of the things we have covered in terms of
Yeah.
qualification. We can look at maybe the teams and talk a little bit more. But I think
Yeah.
overall, what do you think? Process changes, good,
I
bad,
think
and
overall, yes, like there are some positives as well as negatives, but overall will end up depends on where we are at in terms of our shooting contingent and the
hmm,
performance. But
hmm,
let's say on papers, if we are at same level where we were before Tokyo,
hmm,
I think the quota distribution will be almost same.
yeah.
So they've changed the system, but overall kiya hai, but it does not change a lot of things specifically for us.
Exactly. I mean, I will only say for me, the major advantage is the reallocation. I am
Hmm.
expecting कि reallocation के वजह से थोड़ा बहुत अपने को कहीं ना कहीं पे फायदा होगा, because
In case we are in terms of
world
ranking,
rankings.
we are positioned better.
Yeah, I'm hoping थोड़ा बहुत कहीं ना कहीं पे तो फायदा होना चाहिए.
Hmm.
And I am definitely expecting that at least 6-7 France quota should come to world rankings, which did
Hmm.
not happen earlier. So for
Yeah.
me, that is the biggest good plus point from an Indian perspective. And negative, I think it's more like a fan perspective. जो मैं बोल चुका हूँ कि I'll miss watching the World Cups with quotas on the line. That is more of a
Hmm.
fan perspective. It has
Yeah,
nothing to do with. Hmm.
I don't care about your fan perspective.
हाँ.
I just need 15 quotas.
अरे
That's
15
all.
क्यों? 15 तो लास्ट टाइम थे यार, बढ़ाने इस बार.
अच्छा बढ़ाने हैं मतलब
हाँ.
लास्ट टाइम आई रिमेम्बर दीज वर योर वर्ड्स कपिल
हाँ.
जब शूटिंग के बाद हम
It's
टोक्यो के बाद हमने
it's
शूटिंग
over.
की बात
हाँ.
की थी इट्स ओवर
Yeah.
सब खत्म हो गया दो बार यू रिपीटेड द लाइंस ट्वाइस सब
नहीं,
खत्म हो गया
I
एंड नाउ
remember.
यू आर सेइंग 15 से ज्यादा मिलने
हाँ
चाहिए
लेकिन
गुड
हाँ लेकिन उम्मीद तो रखते ही है ना. मैं बोल रहा हूँ मिलने चाहिए, इसका मतलब ये थोड़ी मिल
मतलब
जाएंगे.
मैं रियलिस्टिक एक्सपेक्टेशन बता रहा था कि हाँ 15 उतने भी आ जाएं तो इट विल बी अ गुड थिंग
या रियलिस्टिक आई थिंक बराबर ही है 15 इज बिकॉज शॉटगन इज स्टिल इन द डोल्ड्रम्स, राइट? दैट इज द बिगेस्ट प्रॉब्लम.
हाँ शॉटगन का वही है मतलब आई थिंक इट विल बी सेम एज इट यूजुअली हैपेंस विद अस मतलब देयर इज अनप्रेडिक्टेबिलिटी एक दो कोटास कभी भी कहीं से भी आ सकते हैं यू नेवर नो यू माइट एंड अप विनिंग कोटा इन दिस वेरी वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप आल्सो बिकॉज मैं अभी जैसे स्कोर्स देख रहा था मतलब इन टर्म्स ऑफ पोटेंशियल इफ यूल सी सो हु डू वी हैव और डू यू वांट टू ब्रिंग द एंट्री लिस्ट फर्स्ट इन of shooters who are participating maybe we
हाँ.
can that is how we can talk about it.
Yeah, so I put the Indian team for the shotgun world championship, which is starting, मतलब ठीक है, starting on Monday, but the senior events will start like next Monday. I will just
Hmm.
say one thing here. ये team में there has been one change. So there is this, I don't know if you know this, but skeet में there is this Parampal Singh Gunan, who in a very rare case for shooting actually tested positive. I think
Hmm.
I think it was an unfortunate case, honestly.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
took some diuretic. Diuretic is basically, to sort of dehydrate yourself. It is a dehydrating agent. Dehydrating or rehydrating? One of the two.
I am
No,
not
sorry,
sure.
not
Yes.
dehydrating. It's a rehydrating agent. Diuretic is like a rehydrating agent, just if अगर body में थोड़ा पानी कम हो गया, and it's actually not a steroid or anything. The only reason it is banned is it can be used as a masking agent. तो it's like अगर तुमने steroid लिया और उसके बाद diuretic लिया, तो then the steroid can be masked, due to which it is banned. So I don't think it's a big thing, and I think he'll get away with a small ban. But from a world championship perspective, Gudon has been replaced with I think क्या नाम है उसका, खंगूरा, गुरजात सिंह खंगूरा, समथिंग लाइक दैट.
I mean, what's your point?
नहीं, so
Let's
I'm just
come
saying
to
कि मैंने tweet डाली है, तो I'm just saying कि there is this one
कि वो
change.
चेंज हुआ है. ओके
हाँ,
ओके, cool
yeah.
cool. So like I was saying, विवान कपूर ठीक है, he's a youngster, but if you see from our trap contingent only, in terms of potential, yes, he looks like one who can, deliver, because I can see in the cycle before this world championship is shot 122 thrice, not just once going beyond 120, going 4 times beyond 120, and 3 of those scores are 122, which is like a decent score and almost,
शूट
gets
ऑफ में
you
जाता है नॉर्मली.
shoot off तक तो चला ही जाता है. So that is the maximum level where we are. So and he only looks like who has this level of ceiling. बाकियों से तो I think इतनी ज़्यादा कुछ hope है भी नहीं.
I mean, Miraj Khan is still there, which is
Yeah. Skeet May is there right now,
अच्छा, you're talking
just
about trap,
from
okay.
trap. Yeah,
हाँ. Yeah, I mean, Bhavnish Mendriata, ये नाम तो, I mean, the first time I've heard.
मेहंदी रत्ता
हाँ,
कपिल.
मेहंदी दत्ता, sorry. The first time I've heard, and पृथ्वीराज कौंदीमान ठीक है, he's been there and
He's
thereabouts.
been there about, yeah.
I mean, trap में यार, the feeling I always get is, especially in these big events ना, बहुत बार देखा है, it's happened too many times. 3-4 राउंड ऑफ ट्रैप तक अच्छा चल रहा होता है, and then लास्ट राउंड में सब गड़बड़ हो जाता है. So I
या
mean,
मतलब एक कोई राउंड तो होता है जिसमें वो गड़बड़ होता ही है.
so yeah, I'll be very happy if we even actually have a finalist here, honestly. I don't see.
Yeah.
I really don't have high hopes in shotgun. बहुत
Skeet में Maharaj, I think he recently won a World Cup gold.
he did.
He did, right? Changwon or somewhere.
Yeah, so he definitely won a World Cup gold, and it was obviously it was, I think, his first World Cup gold of his career as well. So
Yeah.
it was a very good performance, but I'll just put a asterisk on that. Okay, the field was pretty weak, and in
Yeah, you
particular,
can see from his qualification score only. No, the
exactly, हाँ,
qualification score is 119,
हाँ, तो मैं
which
उसी पे आ रहा
itself
था.
tells you the story. मतलब 120 तो bare minimum है for Skeet.
या तो मैं उसी पे आ रहा
120 भी
था.
bare minimum भी
नहीं
नहीं,
होता है.
121 or 2 I would say is the bare
122
minimum.
ही लगता है एकदम टॉप इवेंट पे, तो 121
Yeah.
में भी बहुत मुश्किल है. So that's where I was coming at कि he might have won the gold, but its qualification है 119 है, which is not gonna even get him into the final in most top level events.
Yeah.
मतलब ठीक है, शॉटगन में एक ये हमेशा होता है कि it is dependent a little bit on the weather. अगर if the conditions are bad, then even lower scores can get in, but it's very rare. तो मतलब he has the gold and it looks good. He did very well in the final, which is great, but qualification score was not up to the mark. So just take
Yep.
that with a pinch of salt.
Yeah. So yeah, matlab anything above 2 in the overall scheme of things from shotgun would be a bonus only, I think, for us.
Two
It's
quotas overall at the end of everything, right?
yeah.
ठीक है.
Because majorly we've always been rifle and pistol country primarily.
Not, I mean, in the past 5-6 years. I mean, उसके
हाँ,
पहले.
in the past, as in recent times only.
हाँ. But yeah, ठीक है, देखते हैं. Maybe at some point there'll be a resurgence of shotgun. लेकिन right now तो लग नहीं रहा. By the way, any idea about Angad Veer Bajwa?
Yeah. I think I read he's moved to Canada now. He's looking for a Canadian citizenship.
Is he?
So don't, yeah. Don't think he is going to come back.
नहीं, because मैंने ऐसा कुछ पढ़ा था कि yeah, he's moving to Canada, but he still wants to continue shooting for India.
Then I'm not sure.
हाँ, मतलब he might be based there and all that, but जितना मैंने पढ़ा था, he said कि हाँ, I am moving to Canada, but I
Based
am.
तो उसका, yeah, the family was always based. He was just living on his own यहाँ पे. But now he's also moved to Canada. Yeah, but हो सकता है वो maybe he's practicing there and still represents India.
I don't know. By the way, Prakash at least is telling us in the chat he did participate in the trials, the last one.
Oh, okay.
So ठीक है
So
then.
yeah, that does mean कि हाँ फिर तो इंडिया से ही पार्टिसिपेट करने का सोच रहा
हाँ
है.
because फिर उसमें फिर वो भी फैक्टर है राइट कि if he's moving and then फिर maybe might not have got enough time for practice as well क्योंकि moving also takes you a lot of time and takes up a lot of your
Yeah,
energy right not
yeah.
just मतलब I don't mean just the flight I mean actually moving once from India to Canada and वो जो main पूरा big move होता है that also takes up a lot of your energy so maybe he's a
Mm-hmm.
little out of practice or maybe he's just lost in the trials. So
Yeah, but anyways, it's not like it's a big loss also for us that even if he,
हाँ
does not participate from India.
या वो ठीक है या उसके अलावा
ठीक है. A
वुमेन्स में
lot
तो
of
कुछ है नहीं ट्रैप वुमेन्स की
हाँ
तो में
women साइड तो नहीं है. Yeah.
हम्म,
Chat में पढ़ रहा था on the rifle and pistol side. A lot of people have been asking about Saurabh
सौरभ
actually.
what
So obviously, matlab he hasn't been performing well in the trials. So that is the main or primary reason he's not a part of this uh, sh- shooting contingent. What I've also heard is that he's practicing 50 for some reason. I don't know why and
अच्छा
who is influencing him or whatever it is. But yeah, that is what I've heard. He's been practicing 50. Although Saurabh का मतलब काफी ज़्यादा डाउन हुआ है. ऑल
हम्म,
आई थिंक वन थिंग इज इवन इफ ही कम्स बैक सो उसको रैंकिंग में इतना ज़्यादा भी ही इज नॉट दैट फार ऑफ ऑल्सो. इफ यू सी हिज एवरेज स्कोर
हम्म,
विच डिसाइड्स द who is going to represent from India, so he's not that far off from the top three shooters.
हम्म,
If he ends up, let's say, shooting a couple of 585s, I think his averages will again come back to top four or top five. That is what he requires basically.
हम्म.
But right now the level is, I think, 571 or 72 is what he's shooting at right now, which is a disaster.
I think he had like 2 or 3 really bad trials like I think एक कुछ 560s में भी गया था something like 568
Yeah,
569 or something
yeah, yeah. But it's
yeah
not just these last two trials. The scores were bad. The
hmm,
scores have been bad after the national championship.
yeah, okay. But ठीक
As
है
in this entire year, the scores have been bad.
but yeah ठीक है I mean I will just say obviously Saurabh was and probably is a huge talent. But yeah, I will just say, I mean, I wasn't that surprised because we have seen this a lot of times in shooting, right? उसमें problem ये है कि इंडिया में depth इतना है ना, we just have so much depth कि there are always new shooters coming up, and we have seen other shooters also, who went to the
Yeah, but how
Olympics with,
many how many Indian shooters you've
yeah,
seen
yeah,
of Saurabh's caliber?
yeah, I agree. But the only thing I'm saying is, okay, we have seen many shooters who like went to the Olympics as let's say favorites or very high hopes, and then they had a bad Olympics, and then
Then faded out.
faded out. Matlab, best examples are obviously Ranjan and
Yeah,
Jitu,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, Saurabh was obviously ahead of both Ranjan and Jitu, but it's not that Ranjan and Jitu were also ordinary; they were also pretty
Mm,
extraordinary shooters.
yeah. Yes, but
So,
Saurabh, you would
different
definitely
level.
rate him even higher than both of those, right?
Yeah, yeah, surely different level.
He
But
was a different character altogether. But
but
then
yeah,
उसके साथ ये था ना कि the biggest factor with him was he was very young. So
hmm,
you never know, does he have that level of maturity to overcome that failure and again come back to
hmm,
that top level. So वो
hmm.
थोड़ा सा तो हमेशा था ही फैक्टर.
हाँ वो फर्क तो होता ही है ना मतलब he went from somebody who was like a huge star and he had become a pretty big star huh? मतलब
Yeah.
lot of people he was I think I don't think there's a doubt it he was the most hype shooter we ever have had going into the Olympics
Yes.
and even
Yes.
people
Yes.
who don't really follow about shooting they were talking about him everybody knew the name Saurabh Chaudhary going into the Olympics
Which brings me to the point
hmm.
that, I mean, he has been on a downward curve for so long,
Hmm.
but do you see any coverage around him?
तो
I
शूटिंग कवरेज ही बंद हो
felt
गया
this
पूरा
thing कि वो बंद हो गया है. Yes,
शूटिंग
absolutely. मतलब वो काफी, like, Indian media ने वो coverage, I don't know, it's a deliberate call. Coincidentally, that has happened. There is a lot of negative sentiments towards shooting. All of those factors could be there, but definitely वो काफी एविडेंट है कि शूटिंग को ज्यादा भाव मिल नहीं रहा है. The point I'm trying to make here is it might act as a blessing in disguise for us. कि चलो ठीक है, going into the Olympics, if we have some decent quotas, there is no limelight on them, there is no pressure on them from at least media side. खुद से वो ले ले तो that's a different thing. I'm just hoping actually it acts as a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, that is a good point. But yeah, honestly, from a coverage perspective, I completely expected it, and I honestly feel that we in shooting we are sort of at a situation now where the last team was just so hyped, and we returned with zero. Okay, we are now at a point where nothing they do before the Olympics is gonna get hyped. मतलब अगर वो लोग है ना
Only an Olympic medal can resurrect it.
एग्जैक्टली मतलब
Basically,
अगर
as simple as that.
हाँ मतलब अगर वर्ल्ड चैंपियन भी बना दो ना तुम 3 वर्ल्ड चैंपियन बना दो देयर विल बी अ लिटिल बिट न्यूज बट इट द रिफ्रेन देयर वाज हाँ भैया वर्ल्ड कप वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप में जीत लेते हो तुम लोग को ओलंपिक्स में क्या हो जाता है दैट इज जस्ट द सच अ स्ट्रॉन्ग सेंटिमेंट कि नन
Yeah,
ऑफ दिस मैटर्स द ओनली थिंग दैट मैटर्स इज द ओलंपिक्स एंड इनफैक्ट शूटिंग में तो मुझे लगता है इट्स गॉन
but
द
that so
शूटिंग में इनफैक्ट मुझे लगता है इट्स गॉन अ लिटिल बिट द अदर वे कि इट्स लाइक अब जीतते हैं ना तो लोगों को गुस्सा ज्यादा आता है कि भैया यही क्यों जीतते हो
so
rather
I
than being
think
happy.
that is where you should clarify those sentiments. कि मतलब it's not just about Olympics, it's not just
हाँ
about नीरज का भी सुना था ना recent interview.
हाँ
मतलब हमारे इंडिया उसने यही बोला था वर्ल्ड इसके बाद आई थिंक डायमंड लीग जीतने के बाद कि इंडिया में तो सबको गोल्ड ही चाहिए और किसी चीज से किसी को मतलब नहीं
हाँ
है एंड
नहीं
दैट
वो
इज
तो है ही
एप्लीकेबल ऑन ओलंपिक्स आल्सो.
हाँ बट वो
लाइक यू आर अ स्पोर्ट्स फैन, यू ठीक है, एवरीवन वांट्स टू विन एन ओलंपिक मेडल बट एंजॉय रेस्ट ऑफ द प्रोसेस आल्सो. मतलब ये थोड़ी ना कि तुम्हें सिर्फ ओलंपिक से ही मतलब होना चाहिए. वर्ल्ड विनिंग अ वर्ल्ड कप मेडल इज नॉट इजी.
एग्जैक्टली
मतलब 5 years back we used to hardly win any medal.
अरे
Now we are getting it in bunch and people are disappointed with that also.
नहीं नहीं वो तो ठीक है यार वो 5 years बैक और मैं वही बोला ना द पीपल हु हैव नॉट फॉलो शूटिंग विल नेवर बी एबल टू अप्रिशिएट व्हाट वी डिड इन 2019 वट एवर हैपेंड एट द ओलंपिक्स 2019 में जो हम लोग ने किया था ना यू हैव टू हैव एट फॉलो शूटिंग बिफोर दैट टू
Yes,
अप्रिशिएट 2019 में हमने क्या किया
yes.
बट पीपल विल
Even
नेवर डू
even if you remove the team medals, I mean ठीक है,
नहीं 2019 में
team
कहाँ
medal
टीम मेडल्स थे वो तो
team
अभी
medals
आए
नहीं थे.
नहीं नहीं वो तो अब आए
Okay,
हैं
and still we topped each and
एवरीवेयर
every World Cup
हाँ
medal.
या एवरीवेयर मतलब ठीक है
That's a big thing.
एंड द
Yes.
पॉइंट यही है कि आज भी मैं ऐसा बोलूँ ना मोस्ट पीपल आर स्टिल गोना फील हाँ ठीक है चल वो 2020 ओलंपिक में क्या हुआ आई मीन दैट इज जस्ट द एटीट्यूड विच इज देयर बट यू कांट डू एनीथिंग अबाउट इट और नीरज का भी इफ यू आर टॉकिंग आई थिंक पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट वही था राइट द गाय इज ऑलरेडी वन एन ओलंपिक गोल्ड सो नाउ पीपल फील के गोल्ड के नीचे एनीथिंग इज नॉट सेटिस्फैक्टरी मतलब
हाँ, but
दीज
वो
पीपल डोंट रियली फॉलो
I think
इट
he was talking from a generic point of view also and
बट ही मस्ट हैव
मतलब
फेल्ट
वो
इट मोर ना कि उसको हमेशा होता
हाँ
है
मे
कि
बी
तेरे
वर्ल्ड
से तो गोल्ड
चैंपियनशिप
ही चाहिए
में रेफरेंस
हाँ
तो वही था बोलने का बट
हाँ
आई डोंट थिंक वो गलत भी था.
हाँ
दैट इज व्हाट इट इज.
हाँ मतलब दैट बिकॉज इवेंचुअली यार तुम कितना भी कोशिश कर लो द 95% फैंस आर गोना बी कैजुअल फैंस राइट दे आर नेवर गोना बी कि हम एवरी इवेंट देखते हैं 95% fans are gonna tune in only to the big event. That's just how it works. Nobody has the time to watch
That's how it
everything.
works in India. That's how it works in other countries also.
Specifically in India, but I think a lot in other countries as well. But specifically in India, it becomes exaggerated simply because honestly speaking, we are embarrassed by how many medals we win in Olympics.
Yeah,
Olympics के
we are.
बाद हाँ Olympics के बाद हमेशा ये आता है ना कि we have such a big population और मेडल तो इतने से हैं
Hmm.
वो सारी लिस्ट आ जाती है where it's
And
like
it's not like we are obsessed with Olympics also. मतलब you see the level of fans that are there in other countries. Our obsession comes every once
हाँ
in 4 years.
हाँ
Whereas other countries you'd see people are actually obsessed with Olympics. तो मतलब तुमने इतना ज्यादा आई डोंट नो मतलब फैंस के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से ही बोल रहा हूँ कि हर 4 साल में एक बारी शोर मचाना ही मचाना है विदाउट नोइंग ऑल द कॉन्टेक्स्ट एंड
या
एवरीथिंग.
वो तो होता ही मैं वही बोल रहा ना इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ दैट
या या
ओनली
या
राइट
आई
कि
गेट दैट.
वी
यस.
फील वो जब भी वी सी ना कि पर मतलब मेडल्स पर पॉपुलेशन का हमेशा लिस्ट आ जाता है मेडल्स पर जीडीपी का लिस्ट आ जाता है वी आर ऑलवेज लाइक एट द बॉटम ऑफ दैट तो इट फील्स वी फील द एम्बैरेसमेंट एज जस्ट फैंस और एज जस्ट इंडियंस तो इसलिए वो
या
आता ही हमेशा कि बाकी सब छोड़े ऐसे ओलंपिक्स में थोड़ा थोड़ा तो कुछ डिसेंट करो It comes to
mm.
that point because
Yeah, but I think overall scheme of things में it bodes well only for us.
yeah,
मतलब
so
everyone has been, टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट ओलंपिक वो दैट इज विजिबल राइट मतलब चाहे वो मेडल्स में नहीं रिफ्लेक्ट हो रही है या
hmm,
अवेयरनेस में रिफ्लेक्ट हो रही है या द नंबर ऑफ मेडल्स वी आर विनिंग इन वर्ल्ड चैंपियनशिप और वर्ल्ड कप इवेंट्स अभी रिसेंटली टू लास्ट 2-3 years you would have seen we hardly used to win any medals in world championship also
hmm,
now it has become a regular thing for us
yeah,
so
not
I think it's a part of the game.
yeah, I mean not the best day to make that statement considering wrestling में क्या हुआ, but yeah, the sentiment is valid. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
Weber was saying, isn't it a sign of progress that we are embarrassed after winning 7 Olympic medals? I
Yeah,
mean Weber,
exactly.
no, but
Exactly what I'm trying to say.
no, but I'm saying Weber, it's all a case of expectation, right? I mean, you compare 7 medals with a Pakistan, yeah, it's great. You compare 7 medals with a China, it's pathetic. So वो उधर
No,
वाली
but
बात आ
you
जाती है.
that's the wrong comparison.
I
That's what I'm
agree.
trying to say.
I
You
agree.
compare with your own historical performance first.
Exactly, I agree. It's a wrong comparison, but that's the comparison we make, right? Because we have a situation where we feel that we are GDP wise, soft power wise, we are close to. We are not there, but we are close to the likes of, let's say, at least UK and France and ठीक है, China
Yeah.
and America, okay, are higher maybe, but we want to be as powerful as them, and then we see our Olympic medals, and it feels
Yeah.
embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Population wise, we can only compare ourselves to China, right? That is the
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
country which
That
is
is
there.
that is one factor and not the only factor I would say.
हाँ, so वो ठीक है, वो accept
Anyways,
कर रहे हैं.
I think we are
And we are
deviating from
digressing.
the yeah, yeah, yeah.
हाँ.
So I was talking about the Indian contingent that is participating, right?
Hmm.
And थोड़े time पहले I mentioned that about the qualification or the selection system that NRAI has devised
Hmm.
to select the Indian shooters.
Hmm.
उसमें I was seeing that so right now how it has happened is so far we have had 3 phases, right? And within each phase there is a couple of trials and then there is 2 or 3 extra tournaments, be it a world cup or a national championship or
Hmm.
a KSS championship that is there,
Hmm.
right? Domestic tournament जो होता है,
Hmm.
I can't recall the exact name.
या करनी सिंह समथिंग ना, या
नहीं
के
नहीं,
सुरेंद्र राठौड़ का भी एक
जो
है.
भी हाँ मतलब
हाँ
है.
ठीक है. हाँ.
अब उसमें ये है, I think the biggest flaw is they don't have a limit that you need to have an average of, let's say, a minimum of 2 events जिसकी average निकाली जाएगी.
नहीं, वैसा तो
मतलब
लिमिट होगा ही.
नहीं है. सो वही हुआ ना. आई नोटिस दिस थिंग इन 10 मीटर एयर पिस्टल विमेन.
ओके.
सो व्हाट हैपेंड, जो आफ्टर द वर्ल्ड कप द 2 women who were on the top,
हम्म.
they had higher averages.
हम्म.
They totally skipped both the trials because there was a chance if they participate in the trials the
हाँ.
averages will come down.
बट ठीक है, but they had world cups, right? So मतलब they skipped the trials, but
They
they had the world
just
cups.
had one world cup, no? So
नहीं
अभी
नहीं.
पिछले 3 महीने में it's just 3 और 4 महीने में it's just one tournament for them to show.
नहीं नहीं, वन वर्ल्ड कप और उसके पहले ट्रायल्स किए होंगे ना पिछले फेज
उसके
में.
पहले और पुराने उसमें किए थे ना. इट वाज इन
हाँ.
phase 2 और phase 1. सो इफ यू आर लुकिंग फॉर कंसिस्टेंसी, सो ऐसे तो वो सारे उसको मतलब दिल वर्क अराउंड राइट कि दे डोंट वांट टू डिस्टर्ब देयर एवरेजेस बिकॉज राइट नाउ वी आर ऑन टॉप ऑफ इट.
हम्म.
So let's not participate only in selection trials. So all I'm saying is there should be a minimum limit to the number of events that you have to participate. Actual consistency आपकी वहां से निकल के आएगी. Otherwise people will find ways to go about it,
I mean, I will
go
just,
around it.
I will just give a counterpoint here. Okay, ठीक है. First of all, you're saying that there needs to be a minimum limit, which is fine.
Hmm.
I'm just
Hmm.
saying that the minimum limit currently might be valid for across all phases, not in a
Hmm.
single phase. Secondly, you can say that maybe phase 3 में minimum is 1. So it's like you have like one World Cup, you have two
हाँ, so
trials, so
वो
that's
वन
3 events.
गलत है ना. That's what I'm saying.
But तीन तो
If
इवेंट हो रहे हैं. मतलब इट्स लाइक वन वर्ल्ड कप एंड टू ट्रायल्स. तीन तो इवेंट है,
हम्म,
तो उसमें मिनिमम
नहीं
क्या
3
रखोगे?
नहीं है ना. 3 से ज्यादा होते हैं, 4 इवेंट्स हैं. ठीक है, 3 भी नहीं. अगर 3 इवेंट्स है तो और ऑर्गेनाइज कराओ.
बट वो पिछले फेज में किए ना, उसको क्यों इग्नोर कर रहे
सी दैट डिफीट्स द एंटायर पॉइंट राइट. अगर तुम फेज डिवाइड कर रहे हो दैट यू वांट टू हैव 4 months इन ईच फेज
हैं?
बिकॉज यू वांट टू हैव दैट शूटर कंसिस्टेंट अक्रॉस दीज phases.
हम्म.
That is the point. I can imagine कि इसीलिए would have come with this new system, right?
Hmm.
But if shooters stop participating in those trials, what is the use of this entire new selection system?
Yeah, I mean, I have not looked at the system, but is it just that कि okay, you have divided phases, but you need like minimum one event in each phase? ऐसा है?
That's how it looks like. क्योंकि
Okay.
like I said, I observed this in 10-meter air pistol. वहाँ पे एक ही event में participate किया है, and which has been counted in their overall average.
Hmm. I mean, honestly, I don't mind it too much. For me, the
I mean, it's a good start.
hmm,
It's a better system than what used to be previously for sure.
hmm,
It takes into account the consistency part.
hmm.
But उसको भी एक minimum limit कर दो ना.
हाँ ठीक है मतलब minimum limit is one. That's the point.
Yes,
But
it
one
should
per
be higher.
phase.
It
But
should,
नहीं, but the point there is one per phase, right? One per phase to me doesn't sound that bad. It's like if it's one
no,
per
no, no.
phase and a total of four, then it's
How
fine.
can you base your selection on one tournament?
नहीं
There
नहीं
has to be
नहीं
at
नहीं.
least two
No, no,
tournaments.
you're not basing on one, right? It's one per phase with a minimum of total like
All I
three or
know
four,
is
right?
those girls have participated in one tournament last 3 months
Hmm.
and they are entering world championship, which
Hmm.
does not seem fair to me.
Achha. So your idea is that one in 3 months is less. That's the basic idea.
Yes, 3 months, 4 months, whatever that phase is, there should be at least a minimum of two.
ठीक है, valid point. I mean
But
for
overall better system than it used
hmm,
to be previously, right? कि
hmm,
top 6 को आप count कर लो in the entire Olympic cycle,
hmm,
and उसमें वही होता था कि the shooters who used to perform, let's say किसी की form चल रही है
hmm,
उस पर्टिकुलर ईयर में, दे गेव अप सम 3 or 4 मैजिकल नंबर्स, कुछ
hmm,
अच्छे शूटिंग स्कोर्स आ गए, वहीं से उनकी एवरेज अल्टीमेटली
hmm,
वहीं हाई रहेगी. दैट थिंग आई थिंक हैज बीन डन अवे विद नाउ.
ठीक है. I mean for me the honestly मैंने पूरा document देखा नहीं है, so you have the better idea.
No,
But
no,
for
I haven't seen the document. I've seen just the scores, and that is where I'm coming from.
okay.
Document I think उन्होंने publish किया नहीं है on their website as far as I know.
Okay. Okay. But for me, my biggest pet peeve has always been lack of importance of finals. मतलब I always feel के
Yeah, that's again.
shooting finals now are very different from qualification. Not just in pressure aspect, but even from a in some cases even from a technical aspect, right? जैसे for example three position देखोगे तो three position में for example there are qualification में there are equal number of shots in kneeling, prone and standing, but then
Mm,
final has more standing shots.
standing, yeah.
So then you have to consider that 25-meter pistol देख लो. Rapid fire में qualification has like 8 seconds, 6 seconds, 4 seconds, final has only 4 seconds.
Mm,
Similarly in 25-meter pistol women final has only rapid,
mm,
qualification has precision and rapid. So trap में, by the way, not many people realize, but trap में भी also there's a major difference के qualification में you get 2 shots per bird. You can actually yeah, for every target you get 2 shots. You can miss the first one, hit it second time. Final में you get only 1 shot. Yeah, this is a thing which most people don't know. मेरे को लग रहा है
mm.
तूने भी सुना नहीं है पहले.
When नहीं, मैंने नहीं सुना.
हाँ
ये कब इंट्रोड्यूस हुआ है?
ये पहले से ये this I had realized like 5 years back when I had written an article for the bridge के and I had gone and opened the trap rules and saw that. क्योंकि qualification हम देखते नहीं है कभी, right?
Yeah,
We never see qualification, so we don't
yeah.
realize
Which is
things.
your pet peeve also कि qualification
हाँ
में medal नहीं होने चाहिए, but वो हो रहे हैं.
दैट इज तो वो तो ठीक है यार ये ठीक है. इफ यू वांट टू टॉक वी कैन टॉक के हाउ आर दीज रीसेंट फाइनल
हाँ,
फॉर्मेट्स. आई
वो
मीन
भी
आई हेट
we'll
देम.
quickly touch upon. We won't get into detail because I know it's a touchy topic for you. You can go on for ever on this, but
तो
yeah.
हाँ तो ठीक है. सो बट या सो देयर आर डिफरेंसेस स्कीट में भी फॉर एग्जांपल राइट. द फायरिंग पॉइंट्स एंड द skeet maybe there are shots in qualification which you don't make in final, and then there are also shots in final which you don't make in qualification, like reverse doubles and stuff. So I definitely think the final should be lot more important. Currently
Mm,
finals are basically not counted. Okay, so they
mm.
say कि हम लोग bonus point देते हैं. Practically finals are not counted. The qualification is fully based on the trials or the selection is fully based on qualification scores, and finals are basically not counted at all. That is the
Okay,
current scenario. But so
okay,
that has
okay.
always been my biggest pet peeve.
Yeah, back to Indian selection system.
Hmm.
Anything to add to that?
हाँ ठीक है. You want to just have a look at this rifle team सामने जो पड़ी है.
Let me just open it in my system here.
हम्म,
Hmm. So yeah, I वही है, थोड़ा सा inexperienced team ही है.
हम्म,
You never know what is coming, especially from the men's side. It might be a good thing for us. It might not be such a good thing considering they don't know. World Championship hai. There are more than usual number of countries that participate in the World Cup. So it
हम्म,
does give you a different environment. So
हम्म,
if थोड़ा सा देखना होगा how do they soak in all the pressure.
yeah,
But yeah, women's side पे all the three women are pretty experienced, including Meghana. I remember she started well uh, in Rio cycle. She was doing pretty well, but
हम्म,
sort of faded off towards
हम्म,
the end. But yeah, she was shooting great during those times also.
हम्म,
No, I think it was in early Tokyo cycle, not Rio cycle. So yeah,
हम्म।
all in all, very experienced team. So yeah, good
पिस्टल में नहीं,
things
मतलब दैट जस्ट 10 मीटर राइफल ऑल्सो, पिस्टल में अगेन यंगस्टर्स ही हैं, वुमेन में भी।
across. Yes, pistol में भी youngsters हैं.
हम्म,
Shiva Narwal, yes, I keep on hearing his name, but सीलिंग इतनी हाई नहीं है, वही एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है.
हम्म,
And for him actually, because the benchmarks are so high, there will always be a comparison with
सौरभ,
Saurabh, right?
हाँ।
Because he's filling in big shoes.
हम्म,
So I don't know honestly how he's going to perform because इतनी भी ज़्यादा सीलिंग बीट डोमेस्टिक और जो भी एक वर्ल्ड कप उसने पार्टिसिपेट किया, या नवीन शॉट गुड इन दैट वर्ल्ड कप. आई रिमेम्बर इट वाज 585 587 ऐसा कुछ था उसका.
हम्म,
He had a good score in the mixed event as well. So yeah, मतलब potential तो है ही यार, because
हम्म,
depth is like great for us.
या
And
बोलो।
yeah, on a personal level, again, very much looking forward to how Manu does, because she hasn't been doing well in 10 meter.
10 मीटर में
So
नहीं है मन्नू, बाय द वे, 25 मीटर में ही है।
she hasn't been doing well, वही
हाँ,
तो बोल रहा हूँ ना.
हाँ, अच्छा, हाँ।
तो आई एम लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड कि हाउ शी डज इन 25 मीटर,
अच्छा,
एंड वहां से थोड़ा सा मतलब कॉन्फिडेंस पे लो के 10 मीटर में आ जाएगा. मतलब रिसेंटली ट्रायल्स में ही एक्चुअली उसने अच्छा नहीं किया है. उससे पहले तक तो लाइक स्टार्टेड ईयर ऑन अ सॉरी
डिसेंट
started
नोट।
year on a decent note, yes,
हम्म,
but yeah, others were ready to take over, and that's what happened.
हाँ, आई मीन सिमिलर ही, आई मीन इवेंचुअली सी घूम फिर के यही है, दे हैव ऑल कम थ्रू ट्रायल्स, वेरियस ट्रायल्स एंड वेरियस सिलेक्शन प्रोसीजर्स, विच ठीक है, वेब हैज पॉइंटेड आउट प्रॉब्लम्स इन देयर, बट in general they have all come through based on their performances, and
Yeah,
all of them have potential. Definitely some interesting factors there also. Vijay Sidhu, for
yeah,
example, is in both 10 meter and 25 meter. I think Gurpreet ke
yes,
baad he might be the first guy who is shooting at
doing
a high
both.
level in both of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I think we need to talk about
Vijay Kumar.
APS, Ashwarya Pratap Singh Tomar.
Yeah.
Like I think right now he's the standout shooter for
Standout
us.
shooter. I agree.
Yeah, shot a fantastic World Cup gold.
Hmm.
The last one, whatever that was,
Hmm.
started off the year on a absolutely brilliant note.
Hmm.
Was shooting some 11, more than 1180s, but I think he's taken well in the new format as well.
Hmm.
The 600 format that is there,
Hmm.
he's been shooting there as well, pretty good high scores. So
Yeah.
yeah, very much high expectations from him specifically.
Yeah, and also return of some old people, the old stalwarts. Let's say Vijay Kumar is
Mhm.
obviously back. He never really totally went away. I mean, you feel like he's come back after 10 years, but that is not really the case.
Yeah, but
He
it's just Vijay only, no? Who else?
एक I was gonna say, मतलब not old, but Anish had been out of the team for a while as well, and he's
Was
back.
he?
Yeah, wasn't he?
Like very recently only, no? For a couple of tournaments.
नहीं, मैं ठीक है, थोड़ा स्ट्रगल भी कर रहा था, जैसे लास्ट वर्ल्ड कप ऑल्सो, क्वालिफिकेशन वाइज ही वाज, सिलेक्शन में ही वाज लो, बट ही हैड गॉन टू द वर्ल्ड कप बिकॉज ही हैड अ हाई रैंकिंग, एंड वो फंडे थे सारे कि हाई रैंकिंग है इसलिए उसको बेनिफिट के लिए भेज दो. So
Hmm.
because there was a world ranking quota on the line, so all that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
there, but this time he seems like he has come back. And और कौन है, yeah, Anjum back in 50 meter 3 position,
Yes. I think
going.
she's been also shooting well.
Yeah, going into Tokyo pretty much I think 50 meter छोड़ ही दिया था उसने. She was
छोड़ दिया
really
था.
she was really focusing on 10 but
I
she
think
stuck to 50.
Tokyo. So that happened during the quota, during her quota win. उसके कुछ 3-4 tournaments, World Cups which followed after that.
Hmm.
That is where the focus was mainly on 10 meter.
Hmm.
But just before Tokyo, I think the focus came back to 50 meter only.
मतलब वो एकदम लास्ट मिनट पे आई मीन फ्रॉम
Last में जाके, yeah.
हाँ बट फ्रॉम व्हाट आई हर्ड बिकॉज बीच में वो पूरा अंटिल द टीम वाज नेम्ड देयर वाज ऑल दिस कॉम्प्लिकेशन राइट कि अंजुम जाएगी लामनिल जाएगी कौन जाएगा तो उस
चिंकी.
हाँ चिंकी जाएगी तो वो सारे कंफ्यूजन में शी हैड pretty much come to 10 meter because her
Hmm.
focus at that point had become कि मेरे को 10 meter का भी अपना कोटा सिक्योर करना है
Yeah.
and the 50 meter had got put on the back burner even in the run up to the Tokyo from what I heard
Yeah.
तो
Yeah.
वो भी थोड़ा फैक्टर है इंडिया
Hmm.
देखते हैं मतलब इट्स डेफिनेटली अ वेरी गुड टीम एंड you add in the fact कि every country can win only one quota you definitely expect जैसे वैभव बोला maybe at least three maybe even
Hmm.
four you expect
See, we always used to make to the finals, right? मतलब कोटास 2-3 आते थे, 2 आते थे, बट फाइनल्स हमेशा 4-5 होते थे उसमें फाइनलिस्ट्स.
मतलब ऑलवेज का तो आई डोंट
जो
नो बट हाँ
मतलब
आते
लास्ट
थे
टाइम इज व्हाट आई रिमेम्बर, जैसे
हम्म
मन्नू आल्सो मेड इट टू द फाइनल. सो वो फिर नेचुरली वहां पे चांसेस बढ़ जाते हैं.
देखते हैं बट या but again it's sort of it feels like it's a new start in shooting so this tournament will
एन
decide a lot
इंटरेस्टिंग वन. या.
so the tournament will decide a lot okay it's like are we looking up or are we looking down
या. या.
yeah and
आई
but
थिंक from me, I think my takeaway from this entire live stream is, so like you said, I wasn't that disappointed कि हाँ ठीक है वर्ल्ड कप में कोटाज नहीं है, इट्स ओके. मतलब मेरे को इतना ज्यादा वो नहीं था, बट या आई thought that I'll watch a World Cup or I'll follow a World Cup just for the heck of World Cup. But
हाँ,
now when we have discussed that there are even more stakes involved in terms of ranking,
rankings
so I think, oh yes, that's a pretty good add-on.
yeah I mean we are definitely gonna follow it
No,
but वही हाँ
from that perspective also. Yeah.
hmm. And yeah ठीक है I think another name we can mention is maybe Mehuli Ghosh she's also back after quite a while
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
hmm. बाकी
Good
तो I think
things
Rhythm
expected
Sangwan
from
is
her.
another one who's actually a really upcoming shooter. दोनों में है 10 meter, 25 meter.
Yeah,
She's also
upcoming, but like I don't know.
she's been in
I'm
finals
not
यार.
too.
She's been in quite a few finals. I think medals भी मिले हैं. Maybe mixed team में or somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I do have definitely some hopes from her.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
she can do well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we spoke last time also, like inexperienced team, but high on potential, high on ceiling.
Hmm.
So we should be expecting good things, keeping all the negative sentiments aside.
Yeah. ठीक है देखते हैं उसके अलावा या वन थिंग बाय द वे वी मिस्ड इज अनदर चेंज आई हैड सीन इन क्वालिफिकेशन प्रोसेस के मतलब फाइनल और लेट्स से द कोटा प्रोसेस विल दिस टाइम एंड एज लेट एज जून आई मीन
Mm-hmm.
शूटिंग इज दैट स्पोर्ट वेयर द कोटा प्रोसेस इज लार्जली ओवर बाय डिसम्बर और एक
Mm.
एशियन में भी बचता है कभी कभी विच इज लाइक इन फेब्रवरी और समवेयर सो लेटेस्ट मतलब रियो का द शेड्यूल वॉज कि इट वॉज सपोज टू एंड इन डिसम्बर वो देयर वाज अ इशू जिसके वजह से एशियन चैंपियनशिप कुवैत से कोटास हटा दिए थे एंड देन वी हैड अ दिल्ली क्वालिफायर जिसकी वजह से इट बिकेम मार्च अदरवाइज इट वाज सपोज टू एंड इन डिसम्बर एंड टोक्यो में भी आई थिंक द लास्ट वन वाज व्हाट फेब्रुअरी और सम मतलब टोक्यो में भी वो एक वर्ल्ड रैंकिंग कोटा बचा था एंड में उसके अलावा इट सॉर्ट ऑफ एंडेड इन डिसम्बर but this time it will I think go much later there are a lot of events in 2024 as well so as to whether that's a benefit for us I personally feel it can be because I think last event कब है if you just see रैंकिंग तो जून तक जारी है पूरी जो लास्ट टाइम भी मार्च तक गई थी दिस
Mm.
टाइम पूरी जून तक जारी है एंड या वी हैव लाइक मई जून में वी हैव अ फाइनल ओलंपिक क्वालिफिकेशन so final quota can come as late as June
Yeah.
and I think from my perspective it's maybe a benefit for India because I've always felt ke we name our team a little maybe a too early
Too early. Yes.
and so जिसके वजह से
Mm.
some form shooters maybe miss out
Yeah.
so and it's
I
not
think
worked in the
best
last
best
Olympics
example तो मेरे को रियो का ही याद आता है. टेन
हाँ
मीटर एयर राइफल
हम्म,
women. So
हम्म,
पूजा, पूजा और what was her
पूजा
name?
घाटकर आई थिंक या
Ghat Ghatkar. हाँ.
हम्म,
She was shooting fantastic scores just before
हम्म,
Olympics, and not just one. She was consistently shooting
या
well. And Ionica clearly was on a downfall.
मतलब Ionica तो it felt like कि she just went to Olympics to mark her attendance. It's like गए Olympics में attendance mark किया, and after that, after coming back also she didn't really, she मतलब you hardly ever saw. I'm not even too sure
Sort
how
of
much she
faded, yeah.
competed. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I didn't even want to use the word faded because I don't think she even competed much.
No, no, she did. She did. She was there. And I think I've recently also seen her name in some of the lists.
Hmm.
So I think she's active only, but not at the elite level.
And not that much also. I think maybe एक आधा tournament compete किया होगा, पता नहीं. But yeah, so I think that's a good factor, because basically, picking the team early, which we have done for the last at least two
Yeah,
Olympics, has not worked. We have seen that.
yeah,
So,
it hasn't.
so
True.
maybe it might benefit us this time. देखते हैं.
All right.
जाते जाते
Yeah.
फॉर्मेट की बात करनी है जल्दी से 2 मिनट में.
Which format?
फाइनल्स
Oh,
फॉर्मेट.
the finals format.
हम्म.
Yeah, I liked it. I
फिर
liked it,
बता.
especially the yes. I don't mind it.
हम्म.
मेरे को बस my only thing is should have been consistent for both. मतलब mixed का अलग कर दिया, individuals का अलग कर दिया.
हम्म.
There could have been found a solution or a way out जिसमें दोनों को same किया जा सकता था.
हम्म.
And वो चीज मेरे को थोड़ा सा लगा, but mixed format तो is really cool. ठीक है, there would be 2 bronzes.
नहीं,
So
2 ब्रॉन्जेज ओलंपिक्स पे नहीं है, बाय द वे.
Olympics में नहीं है.
ना ना
That's
ना.
what I read.
नो 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 नो. मैंने कंफर्म किया है. ओलंपिक्स में एक ही ब्रॉन्ज है.
किसने कंफर्म किया?
डॉक्यूमेंट है. देयर इज अ डॉक्यूमेंट ऑफ ओलंपिक
Okay.
फॉर्मेट, पीडीएफ डॉक्यूमेंट.
So those are only specifically for World Cups.
या. सो बेसिकली,
And then how is it going to happen in Olympics?
हाँ, सो बेसिकली दिस ISSF, they wanted to have a situation कि we award two bronzes for mixed teams.
Hmm.
IOC basically said no. So now you
But I remember reading it on the ISSF website only that this is what they've come out for Olympics.
so that's the thing that they proposed that to the IOC.
That wasn't approved.
Exactly. So they
Hmm.
proposed that to the IOC, and IOC refused. So the basic difference is that just right now in World Cups, what we are having is like shooter number 3 and shooter number 6 goes into a bronze medal match,
Hmm.
and number 4 and number 5 goes into another bronze medal match.
Hmm.
So Olympics pe we'll have 3 and 4 going into a single bronze medal match. That's how it will.
Okay. Okay. So then almost similar to individual only.
नहीं, इंडिविजुअल में तो अलग सिचुएशन है ना.
मतलब इंडिविजुअल में तो यही हो गया ना, देयर इज वन क्वालिफिकेशन देन अ रैंकिंग
हाँ.
round, and then ultimately acha there is just one final. So
हाँ.
ranking में bronze gets decided.
And then you just have a final gold medal match.
Yeah.
And वो
हाँ,
भी,
so वो चीज mixed के जैसे की जा सकती थी ना.
एंड वो भी बाय द वे सिर्फ नहीं, बट मिक्स टीम में लफड़ा वही हो जाता है ना कि क्वालिफिकेशन में यू गेट 8 शूटर्स इन द फाइनल. मिक्स
Hmm.
का हमेशा ड्रॉबैक वही है ना, यू कांट हैव 8 टीम्स इन द फाइनल बिकॉज यू हैव
No,
ओनली
no,
8
no,
फाइटिंग
no.
पॉइंट्स.
I'm not saying mixed में की जा सकती थी वो चीज.
हाँ.
I'm saying individual में, rather than devaluing bronze so much कि सिर्फ gold
अच्छा.
and silver will get decided from a match. You could have had a bronze playoff as well. कितना time लगता है उसमें?
हाँ,
10
तो
15 minutes,
उसमें आई थिंक ज्यादा
20 minutes.
उसमें आई थिंक ज्यादा बड़ा फैक्टर वो भी है कि इट बिकम्स मल्टी स्टेज फाइनल देन, राइट? बिकॉज राइट नाउ क्या होता है, यू
So
स्टार्ट.
what? It adds only 20 minutes, right, to the
नहीं नहीं नहीं
overall.
नहीं नहीं नहीं. सो व्हाट आई मीन बाय दैट इज कि राइट नाउ यू हैव अ सिचुएशन कि यू स्टार्ट अ फाइनल,
Hmm.
eight people start shooting, and you keep getting down to 2, and then the 2 keep shooting and you finish it
Yeah,
off. उसमें
yeah.
फिर सिचुएशन ये हो जाती है कि 8 से you get down to 4, then once you're down to 4 the gold and silver have to leave the hall and then
Hmm.
come back, and you have to give them
Come
again
back. Hmm.
warm up
Or
time and all that.
maybe just have a final among those four only.
हाँ,
Fresh final.
मतलब बेसिकली व्हाट यू आर सेइंग इज 25 मीटर वाला. 25 मीटर का भी फॉर्मेट अलग है, तुझे पता है ना? इट्स नॉट दिस फॉर्मेट.
Which 25-meter? Rapid fire or
दोनों.
women's
दोनों.
sports?
बोथ.
Hmm.
उसमें फिर वो अलग है, उसमें दे हैव एन 8%, नहीं सॉरी,
For
उसमें.
rapid fire, they have 8.
हाँ, या रैपिड फायर में भी 8
Okay.
क्वालिफाई होते हैं अब.
Hmm.
उसमें यू हैव 2 सेमीफाइनल्स एंड अ फाइनल मेडल मैच.
Okay.
सो मतलब सी आई विल टेल यू दिस थिंग. आई एम जनरली, तूने भी बोला राइट, आई एम जनरली द वन हु हैज गॉट रूल्स डाउन, राइट? के रूल्स सारे एटलीस्ट समझ के रखता हूँ मैं. इट्स द
Hmm.
फर्स्ट टाइम आई एम गेटिंग कंफ्यूज कि किस इवेंट में क्या हो रहा है, बिकॉज
Hmm.
एवरीथिंग इज डिफरेंट.
Yeah.
25 मीटर में अलग रूल्स है, 50 मीटर में अलग
So
रूल्स है,
वही तो
10
मैं
मीटर में
लास्ट
अलग
स्ट्रीम
है.
में बोल रहा था कि इट इज
हम्म,
डिफिकल्ट, मतलब जो लोग फॉलो कर रहे हैं उनके लिए ही समझना इतना डिफिकल्ट हो रहा है.
हम्म,
How are people who want to follow for the first time, or the casual fans, they are
एग्जैक्टली.
going to get a hang of it?
हाँ, एंड सो ऑनेस्टली आई हेट इट. मतलब यू सेड यू लाइक इट, आई एब्सोल्युटली हेट दिस न्यू
मतलब
फाइनल्स
मुझे उस
फॉर्मेट.
चीज से प्रॉब्लम नहीं है कि क्वालिफिकेशन में द ब्रॉन्ज इज गेटिंग डिसाइडेड.
मुझे उससे भी प्रॉब्लम है. मुझे सबसे प्रॉब्लम है. आई हैव अ प्रॉब्लम विद क्वालिफिकेशन में ब्रॉन्ज बीइंग डिसाइडेड. आई हैव अ प्रॉब्लम विद द फैक्ट के ऑल द फॉर्मेट्स नाउ आर सो डिफरेंट. आई
सोनी
ऑल्सो,
लिव.
वो तो ठीक है चलो. और आई ऑल्सो हैव अ प्रॉब्लम विद द फैक्ट के इंडिविजुअल में नाउ इंस्टेड ऑफ वन शॉट एलिमिनेशन यू हैव एलिमिनेशन आफ्टर 5 शॉट्स.
या.
वो भी आई डोंट लाइक. आई थिंक दैट वन शॉट एलिमिनेशन क्रिएटेड अ ड्रामा विच द 5 शॉट एलिमिनेशन जस्ट कैन नॉट. सो प्रकाश इज सेइंग कि देयर इज अनदर रीसेंट डॉक्यूमेंट बाय आईएसएसएफ. अब 3-4 दिन बाद वापस चेंज हुआ था, आई डोंट नो, बट आई डेफिनेटली सीन अ डॉक्यूमेंट ऑन आईएसएस
ओके,
साइड बोलिंग कि
व्हेन
दिस इज द
व्हेन डिड यू
फाइनल.
रीड इट? व्हेन डिड यू रीड इट?
नॉट टू, मतलब ये खुद बोल रहा है 3-4 दिन बैक. आई रेड इट लाइक 10 days बैक और समथिंग, 10
हाँ,
15
मतलब
days
वो भी जो डॉक्यूमेंट आया था, दैट केम अराउंड लाइक अ वीक बिफोर ओनली
नहीं नहीं,
व्हेन
आई
आई रेड इट.
मतलब देख सकते हैं. आई चेक के आईएसएसएफ ने बोला था दिस इज द फाइनल ओलंपिक स्ट्रक्चर, बट वी कैन स्टिल सी. सो लेट्स
ठीक
सी.
है, आई थिंक विल गेट टू नो अबाउट इट. नो, विल पोस्ट इट ऑन ट्विटर. इट्स ओके.
या बट ठीक है. ओवरऑल आई जस्ट से, आई मीन आई एब्सोल्युटली hate this new finals format. That's
या.
that's all I can say.
Yeah. Okay. Any
ठीक है.
concluding thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have already gone like 2 hours, much more
Hmm.
than 2 hours. Concluding thoughts, looking forward, shotgun ही है पहले. Mainly waiting for the rifle one and
Yeah.
hoping for like more than 2 quotas. Let's say, let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. 2 to 3 would be good.
Hmm. Also, a
A
big
good start.
yeah, and also a big event which will sort of indicate us where we are going in terms of shooting. Okay, मतलब
Really.
I
So
think so.
let's say
Yeah.
even if we end up winning 0 quotas in the World
So it's
Championship.
not guaranteed that we are going down, but it will be an indicator. I'm not saying it's guaranteed
Mm,
that if we are zero, then कुछ नहीं हो सकता बाद में.
And
But
how do you think the reactions would be? Like,
reaction तो
would
यार,
it
see
change anything?
see reaction wise, I think it's like I personally feel we are at that stage in shooting. वो लोग कुछ भी कर ले, रिएक्शन तो ओलंपिक तक नेगेटिव ही होने वाला है. तुम है ना 10 कोटा ले आओ, रिएक्शन फिर भी नेगेटिव होने वाला है. इट्स लाइक 10 कोटा जीत के, ठीक है कोटा तो जीत ले, तो ओलंपिक में क्या करते हो. सो इफ यू आर आस्किंग अबाउट
हाँ,
रिएक्शन
मतलब वो
वाइज,
तो चल ठीक है, अलग चीज है, बट या मतलब इवन इफ वी डोंट विन अ सिंगल गोटा, आई थिंक इंडिकेटर ठीक है, इट इज एन इंडिकेटर फॉर श्योर, बट इट्स नॉट लाइक इट्स द एंड ऑफ द वर्ल्ड.
हाँ, एंड ऑफ द वर्ल्ड तो कभी भी कुछ नहीं होता है. बट and this time it's even more important, right? क्योंकि even the number of events are lesser, right? क्योंकि मतलब ठीक है, we used to have what, 6. We had a world championship, 4 world cups and a nation. So we had 6. This time we have 5. So it's not that less. But ठीक है, थोड़ा बहुत इंडिकेटर तो है ही for sure. If we
या.
don't get out with anything.
यस. कूल. All right. So yeah, I think I agree. Same sentiments. We should have at least 2 to 3 quotas.
Hmm.
But I think personally, I'll be okay even if they like don't end up winning 0 quotas, because वो unpredictability हमेशा रहती है. It's not a given कि हाँ आ ही जाएंगे quotas.
Yeah. हाँ ठीक है, मतलब ओके ठीक है. I will definitely be disappointed, especially when you add in the fact कि one country can win only one quota. So वो भी और additional factor है, right?
या. अच्छा, हाँ, रशिया वाला फैक्टर भी है.
प्लस
So
रशिया
yes.
भी है. हाँ.
यस.
बहुत.
ठीक है, आने चाहिए, फिर तो आने चाहिए.
देखते
कूल.
हैं.
ऑल राइट.
चलो फिर और कुछ होगा. आई मीन आई थिंक इट वाज अ प्रीटी लॉन्ग स्ट्रीम एंड आई नो दिस काइंड ऑफ स्ट्रीम्स
Yeah,
कैन बी बोरिंग.
I was actually thinking it should end in like an hour. मतलब that is what my expectation was,
हाँ बट हम
but
लोग
we are almost
वो तो
sitting at 2 hours 20 minutes.
प्रॉब्लम वही ना, अपन बात करते जाते हैं. वी बोथ हैव जस्ट सो मच टू टॉक कि हम लोग बोलते ही जाते हैं. वी कांट स्टॉप.
Yeah, right, Kapil.
सारे दोनों से आना चाहिए ना, निकलना चाहिए पूरा बाहर. बट क्या करें. ठीक है. एनीवेज आई
ठीक.
होप यू गाइस लाइक द स्ट्रीम. आई नो दिस इज वन ऑफ दोस स्ट्रीम्स, व्हिच इज फॉर द हार्डकोर फैंस. आई मीन द कैजुअल
Yeah,
फैन
little
विल जस्ट
technical.
गेट बोर्ड हियर. हाँ.
Yeah.
Casual fan is gonna get bored with this stuff. So,
Yeah.
ठीक है, चलो guys,
Cool.
see you.
All right. Yeah. Good fun.
And
Good night.
we look to do such qualification streams as and when the events come for different sports as well. Though shooting is one of those ones जहाँ पे the changes have been the most massive. दूसरे
Hmm.
qualifications में इतना नहीं है, कहीं कहीं पे है, but shooting has probably been the one with the massive most wholesale changes.
Yeah.
All right,
All right.
have
Bye,
a good
guys.
night,
Take
guys. Bye
care.
bye,
Yeah. Bye.
and it's done.